It is too difficult to become the master of the universe and control a universe, unless there is no master of the universe in that universe. But after so many years of accumulation, in the sea of universe, countless chaotic universes have masters of the universe. The void monk has no way out. Either maintain the status quo or fight for his own opportunity. Only in this way can he break through the limit. For this time, he is willing to give up everything. Cellar. After Jian Wushuang and the others were suppressed and bound by the Dragon Lord, they were thrown into the cellar. Then they were left here without caring about them. Did these guys get their brains kicked by a donkey? They can't get out of the ancient domain world. Even if they want to expose the things here, they have to fly to another world first. Xianxia couldn't help but complain. Juchen heard this and retorted, "You know shit. That's the god of the universe. The god of the universe. There is no inheritance of the god of the universe in countless chaotic universes. Now the incarnation of the god of the universe has appeared in such a small place as the ancient domain world. And there are two of them." As he said, he glanced at Jian Wushuang carefully. Now he really believes that Jian Wushuang is the god of the universe. Because he saw Jian Wushuang kill the 9 worries true god. Although it was a clash of wills, how could he kill the opponent without the will of the universe god? Moreover, the 9 worries true god was not able to take 2 moves under Jian Wushuang. 1 move killed the incarnation, and 1 move killed the original body in the cellar. Although they were all transformed by willpower, but it was still the universe god. Jian Wushuang killed him so easily, which shocked him for several days. Now he has recovered. He has a lot of knowledge and once laughed at Jian Wushuang. Now it seems that he is the short-sighted guy. There is no way. The Lord of the Divine Fire at that time had never seen the universe god. Although he met Brother Ghost Eye, Juchen did not inherit any memory about any aspect. The more blank the aspect, the more Juchen cares. The same is true for the universe god. He has never seen the universe god, and he does not have too much information about the universe god, so he thinks that the universe god is invincible. When he saw another universe god being killed by Jian Wushuang, his pattern was also opened up. In the past few days, he has been shamelessly asking Jian Wushuang about the universe god. Jian Wushuang just casually talked about his experience as a cosmic god. For example, the battle against Shilu. There were also 10 life and death battles in the realm of the King of the Worlds. The battle against the 9-star cosmic god. Of course, he did not talk about the specific combat power, because even Xianxia did not know this. After all, it is useless to say anything now. After they recover, they will be able to understand what a cosmic god is. I can sense that the original body of the 9 worry true god was in this sect. Now that the willpower of the original body has dissipated, there must be a flesh body or a divine body left inside. If I get this thing and supplement my world beast flesh body, then I can be comparable to the calamity realm with my flesh body alone. Jian Wushuang thought in his heart. He doesn't have many ways to improve his strength. He must pull it to the fullest, and no one can be missed. Speaking of it, Zhang and I is also his lucky star, and every time is so critical. When he was covering the sea, he met the Void Monk and discovered the Void Monk's plan. Then, on the ancient domain star, he even brought out the inheritance of the cosmic god. Let's not talk about tradition, it's useless to him. But the treasures inside are too useful to him. A sect founded by a 3-star cosmic god probably has more treasures than dozens of chaotic universes. If he gets these treasures, he can completely push Zhang and I to the Lord of the Universe. He can also take Xiangyang and Jiuchun with him. When he goes to look for the God Eye clan, he will be more confident. The origin of the Lord of the Universe with 3 ultimate ways is more than 100 times or 1,000 times stronger than that of the general Lord of the Universe. By then, Zhang and I will be able to take down the God Eye clan with 7 eyes, not to mention the 6-turn God Eye clan, which is enough for him to impact the origin of the beast of the King realm. The only difficulty facing him now is how to enter this sect. Don't look at the ruins around, in fact, the powerful restrictions are all inside. The formation outside has not been broken. Instead, it is connected to the restrictions inside. Once someone opens the inside, it will trigger the large formation outside. It is very likely that if you can't find the treasure at that time, you will be turned into ashes by the outer formation. This outer formation is used to deal with the God of the universe. The restrictions inside are the same. Even if you open it for the Emperor of the Ancient Court to explore, you can't find a way to explore. Jian Wushuang certainly has the ability to break the restriction. But after breaking the restriction, the formation will start to refine everything around it. If you want to get in, you still have to solve it from the root. That is the outermost formation. The Great Refining Array. Jian Wushuang began to look for the unique skills about the formation in his mind. Among the 723,000 articles, 90,000 are useful to the universe god, of which 87,000 are below the 5-star universe god, and the remaining 3,000 are formations above the 5-star universe god. Moreover, more than 2,000 are formations opened up by the 6-star universe god. There are less than 10 formations around the 7-star universe god, and there is not a single formation for the 8-star and 9-star universe god. Jian Wushuang shook his head. To deal with this large formation, you don't need such a high-level formation. 3 stars are enough. The only question is, what is the core of this formation? Is it the forbidden power within the sect? If so, it will be difficult for him to open it. Will into God, that is just will. Not a true God. If he had the power of a true God, why would he need to stay here and suffer injustice? At that time, the true God Jiao dealt with Zhang and I only because he had a backup plan in the ancient building to restrain Zhang and I. Jiao himself only had some suppressive power, not divine power. It was okay to suppress some weak emperors, but he couldn't suppress the Calamity Realm. In other words, the name could scare people. Yun Hai. Jian Wushuang turned around and ordered, "Suppress all the emperors here. Remember not to alarm the people outside." Yes. Yun Hai Dharma Protector immediately received the order. The divine body also turned golden. 50,000 times the divine power suddenly burst out. The sky in the cellar changed. At this time, the ancient court had assembled a large army and was ready to set out to sweep the Holy Land. Zhang and I was responsible for wiping out the top powerhouses in the Holy Land, that is, the 3 emperors. The rest were responsible for taking over the territories occupied by the Holy Land. The division of labor was clear. Set off immediately. Because of Zhang and I, the 3 immortal kings were very relieved about this decisive battle. So only the Baiyue Immortal King and Long Gong went to supervise the battle. Sankai Jinren and Yuanjing Tianzuan did not go. The 2 of them stayed in Guyu Star. This is the most important place. Not because of how valuable it is, but because if the things here are spread out, the whole Guyu world will be doomed. They naturally cannot escape. So they dare not relax for a moment. As the first emperor of Guting with the level of a 5th-level emperor, Sankai Jinren personally sat in the cellar. In addition to him, there are 3 emperors and hundreds of top Taoists who are responsible for guarding the monks imprisoned here. Originally, everyone was one of us. But now they are imprisoned here. The answer given by Gu Ting is that there was a crisis in the cellar. They were all infected and now they need to stay in the cellar all the time. They can leave after 1,000 years. These people really believed it. Yun Hai Protector has been watching. How could he not know what Sankai Jinren is going to do? It is very likely that after the army starts, he will kill everyone here. Just to erase everyone's memory. Both memory and people must disappear. Only in this way can that thing be completely protected. He is cruel, but in fact it is for the ancient world. There is no wall that is impenetrable in this world. The 3 immortal kings and Long Gong are all trustworthy. Then there is Zhang and I. Only the 5 of them can completely trust themselves and each other. The rest are not trustworthy. They must be eliminated. The rest depends on fate and time. The news spread very fast, but it spread very slowly from here. As long as they are given millions of years, when Zhang and I becomes the Lord of the universe, they will no longer have to worry about being beaten. Of course, they will be able to enjoy some soup and water at that time. After Zhang and I becomes the Lord of the universe, it will not be difficult to become the top, or even the Calamity Realm if he gives them some benefits. After all, their origins are very weak and easy to break through. It is not difficult to become the top, but there is a lack of treasures. There is hope for the Calamity Realm, But to become the Lord of the universe, you need a strong origin and foundation. The ancient domain world cannot support a Lord of the universe at all. Even if it is sold in a package, it is not enough to buy a treasure containing the origin of the universe. It is indeed impossible to cultivate a Lord of the universe. But the mysterious sect in the cellar can. As long as the sect is opened, they will have their own stage at that time. They can all become super strong. Sankei Jinren overlooked the entire cellar. The coldness of his brows gradually deepened. "I'm sorry, everyone," he whispered softly, as if to comfort himself for the last time. Then he started to act. Buzz! With one palm strike, divine power began to sweep around. Among the tens of millions of cultivators suppressed here, many emperors could feel the breath from Sankei Jinren. "What's going on?" Yuqing Emperor, who was also suppressed here, suddenly stood up and looked at the sky. He was shocked to find that it was Sankei Jinren who did it. "It's you!" Yuqing Emperor shouted angrily. As the strongest cultivator here, he flew directly into the sky and confronted Sankei Jinren. Although one was a third-level emperor and the other was a fifth-level emperor, the gap between the two was huge and they were not even a match. But Sankei Jinren did not kill him directly. He just explained with red eyes, "I have no choice, you must die. Only when you die, the secret will be protected forever." "What are you talking about? What secret?" Yuqing Emperor said angrily. "Sankei, I fully supported you to become the immortal king of the ancient court, and now you are going to attack your own people. Do you still have a conscience? Have you forgotten who brought you to join the heavenly court?" Sankei Jinren took a deep breath and closed his eyes slightly. What he saw was the experience at the beginning. The cultivators here are more or less related to him. If it is not necessary, why should he take action? "Yuqing, I won't be soft-hearted. You understand me, so I don't need to say more." Sankei Jinren smiled bitterly. "You don't believe me so much?" Yuqing Emperor suddenly panicked. Secret? How could he not know? The secret of the God of the universe. And the will of the God of the universe has a profound impact on them. It's not wrong to say that they are infected. After being covered by the will of the God of the universe, they have aroused a fighting spirit in their hearts. That is to become stronger. Only in the struggle can one be strong. Those who succeed will still guard the secret, but what about those who fail? Will they reveal the secret of this place because of failure? Or use this secret to make a deal with the Lord of the universe? Human nature can't be tested. Just like when Sankei didn't say it before, Yuqing Emperor had a serious face and didn't mention the matter of the God of the universe at all. When he heard the word secret, he didn't think it was just a test. "If you come to me to mention this matter at the first time, maybe I will be soft-hearted. But I won't be soft-hearted, destroy it." Sankei Jinren slapped out with one palm. "No!" Emperor Yuqing said unwillingly. "Sankei, you will also fall. You will die in the hands of Jiang and I. She will not believe you. Your end will not be better than mine." Before falling, Emperor Yuqing did not forget to say heartbreaking words. But such words have no killing power to Sankei Jinren. He also thought that he would not be silenced by Jiang and I. In fact, Jiang and I has the strength to destroy the entire ancient world, and then guard this secret alone and explore the cellar alone. Her strength and talent are the strongest, and she does not need to partner with them at all. Because there is no need. Sankei Jinren thought so beautifully before, will it also become a beautiful dream? In the real world, they may all fall. This is a reality that must be faced. If Jiang and I also think so, and thinks that they will also have crooked thoughts and betray themselves, will they attack them? Dao heart. At this time, it depends on the state of mind. Although Sankei Jinren's combat power is the first, Long Gong is still the strongest in terms of state of mind. Because Long Gong has the strongest belief. The revival of the human race. This is Long Gong's greatest obsession. Because what he experienced in his early years was the rampage of the ancient demons, the destruction of his family, and the insignificance of the human race. So he can do anything to make the human race stronger. And the human race in his heart is the human race of the ancient domain world. so he will dedicate everything to the human race as much as possible. He is the only one who will not be hurt by Yuqing's words. Die! Sankai Jinren killed Yuqing with one blow, looking down at the people below. There was no reservation, and the divine power covered everyone, and at the same time detonated his own origin field. Boom! Many people did not react, and their origin began to dissipate. What's going on? Why is my origin gone? No! Consciousness is also disappearing. Someone is killing me. Everyone reacted at once. Someone took action. Looking up at the sky, only Sankai Jinren stood there intact. Yuqing Emperor has fallen. All this was done by Sankai Jinren. Sankai Jinren stood lonely in the sky, muttering to himself, "Is my future like this too? By doing this, am I protecting or destroying hope?" He was already confused at this time. After all, anyone who kills his own people will have a burden. Even if there is a perfect reason, it won't work. Jian Wushuang, who was standing below, looked up at Sankai Jinren. This reminded him of the giant god star spirit. The other party killed all the god eyes for the sake of justice. They are all his descendants. The original giant god star spirit can be said to be the greatest existence in the starry sky. It opened up two peak tribes. One is the giant god clan, which needs no further explanation. It is the first tribe in the starry sky. After birth, they can master the origin of the universe and become the master of the universe. Born with inherited memories, they don't need to practice too much. As long as they have enough resources, they can become the master of the universe in the Nine Tribulations realm. The only bottleneck is to become a cosmic god. As for the giant gods at the level of the god of time and space, Jian Wushuang is not very clear. Then there is the God Eye clan. This tribe is even more against the sky, and the upper limit is higher than that of the giant god clan. Because the number of giant god clan is too small. Compared with ordinary human life, it is pitifully small. It is not even as many as the number of special life. After all, a large world can give birth to a lot of special life, and the universe and space and even the starry sky can give birth to special life. Calculated in this way, the number is really not small. But the birth of the giant god clan is very troublesome. On average, there is only one giant god clan strongman in a universe. Although there are many universes, but there are more ordinary people in the universe. In this comparison, the giant god clan is pitiful. But the God Eye clan is different. There are many God Eye clan members, and the number of births is even greater. In addition to the God Eye clan's secret method. As a result, the comprehensive combat power of the God Eye clan is stronger than that of special life. The number is billions of times that of special life. In the long run, the entire starry sky will be the world of the God Eye clan in the future. Even if there is still room for other tribes to survive, they have to practice the God Eye clan's secret method. This is its horror. In the end, because of the defects of the God Eye clan's secret method, the giant god star spirit had to kill his own flesh and blood. They were all created by him. The strong men of the God Eye clan, who shouted their ancestors all day long, were the murderers who killed them. Facing this Shura field, how strong must the giant star spirit state of mind be to be able to stabilize the psychological burden? Sankai Jinren only slaughtered tens of millions of cultivators in his own camp. But his state of mind is about to collapse. The giant star spirit slaughtered an entire tribe, and this tribe was created by him. It is equivalent to killing his own son. Jian Wushuang has never experienced such a thing, so he can't understand it. Originally, he just thought that such a thing might be passed by gritting his teeth. At most, he would be sad for a while, but today he saw the collapse of Sankai Jinren's state of mind. He felt that the giant star spirit must have suffered a huge backlash at the time. Otherwise, he would not be so polite to him. He did this to make up for the debt he owed back then. Otherwise, the mistake he made at the time would affect his eternal time. That would also be eternal torture. Yunhai, let him live. This man has great perseverance. Maybe he will be useful in the future. He could see that Sankai Jinren had been enduring the heartache. He always wanted to get rid of it. If he could make it through, maybe he would be a talent in the future. The origin of Sankai Jinren is not weak. it is a first-grade origin. Becoming the master of the universe may be his limit, but now after experiencing the baptism of the soul, perhaps the upper limit will be higher. It's not impossible to be a demigod. As for the universe god, it depends on chance. After hearing his explanation, Yun High Protector no longer prepared to take action. Originally, he was the one who suppressed these people. Now there is no need. He sealed Sankai Jinren in the sky. For a while, the whole cellar was quiet. No one else was around me. Jian Wushuang began to study the formation and prohibition in a new way. He had to break through here quickly. Just as Sankai Jinren was worried, after this matter was spread, a large group of universe masters would come here. His current strength can't fight the universe master. There are also a bunch of rotten fish and shrimp around him. It's all thanks to the blood of the universe god of the Xinyan clan that he was transformed into a golden armor puppet with 50,000 divine power. He can show off his power among the emperors, and he will definitely not be able to stop the universe master when he meets the universe master. So Sankai Jinren still helped him a lot in various ways. If he can get through it, he will not be stingy at that time, and it will be easy to help the other party become the universe master. But it depends on his own luck. If you can't make it, you may be doomed forever. After the entire cellar was suppressed, Jian Wushuang also began to look for the eye of the formation and scrupulously explore the mystery of the formation. The formation of the cosmic god level is related to strength, 5 senses, understanding, and talent. It would take tens of thousands of years to comprehend a formation of the cosmic god level, even if Jian Wushuang was at his peak. However, he can't comprehend it most of the time, and it is enough to split it with a sword. With the current strength, it doesn't make much difference to comprehend it, and it will also take tens of thousands of years. Fortunately, Jian Wushuang can accelerate time in the 9 Prisons Tower. It is still very simple to maintain the 10,000 times acceleration of the origin of the universe. Now it only takes a few years to have a chance to break this formation. By then, Zhang and I will also return triumphantly. They can also go to explore this sect together, find some treasures inside, and the whereabouts of the God Eye clan. The amount of information of a cosmic god must include a lot. Maybe the whereabouts of the God Eye clan can be found. Jian Wushuang is still very anxious. He is moving forward. Xiangyang and Zhou did not disappoint him. They accelerated time and began to prepare for the Tao. On the other side, the decisive battle between the Holy Land and the ancient court also began. Millions of true immortals gathered, because they had to eliminate those true immortals and emperors who had noticed the abnormality of the ancient domain star. So Zhang and I did not take action immediately. Instead, he watched those true immortals and emperors fall. The 3 top emperors of the Holy Land almost suppressed the emperors of the entire ancient court. They were beaten so hard that they had almost no power to fight back. The immortal King Baiyue and Lord Long looked indifferent. Calculate the time. Zhang and I has already arrived at the Holy Land, and will take action tonight. By then, the Emperor of the Holy Land will definitely come back to help. Then the 2 of us will join forces to kill all the true immortal Tao lords here, and the matter will be over. Alas, I suddenly feel that winning this war is very boring. If it were in the past, my hands would definitely be shaking. Long Gong said with a serious face. That's because we have a bigger goal. Destroying the Holy Land is just a trivial matter. What we want is to become the master of the chaotic universe. Only by taking down a chaotic universe can the ancient court and the human race exist forever and not be spied on by others. Zhang and I will be the first master of the universe. What about the second one? Baiyue Immortal King asked. Duke Long frowned and said calmly, at present, Sankai has the best hope of becoming the second lord of the universe. His origin is the strongest, and he has cultivated the secret method of the divine Eye clan to the second turn. He is also close to the perfection of the second turn. Once the second turn is perfected, his combat power will soar to the top of the 5th level. At that time, we can pursue the origin. As long as we open the cellar and raise his origin to the Emperor's perfection and reach the universe level, he may become the Lord of the universe faster than Zhang and I. Yes, Brother Sansai's talent is the strongest after Zhang and I. Baiwei Immortal King was a little disappointed. Among the three immortal kings, Yuanjing Tianzuan has the least hope. If it really comes to Tianjiao, he is not as good as Sankai and Baiwei. At most, he is stronger than Duke Long. The hope of becoming the Lord of the Universe is slim, and Emperor's perfection is already the peak. If you want to improve your combat power, you can only use the secret method of the Divine Eye Clan. There should be no other way. Baiwei Immortal King said calmly, "My chances are much smaller. There are many people who are better than me. I am not as good as Brother Sankai, who has much better talent than me. I don't know if the sect under the cellar can be opened by Zhang and I, and what kind of treasures will be found after it is opened." In fact, what he wanted to ask most was whether Zhang and I would share it with them after it was opened. Zhang Ni's combat power has reached the peak level. After obtaining the treasures of the entire universe god, will she share them with ordinary emperors? Most people would doubt it. In fact, even Long Gong would doubt it. Although he introduced Zhang and I to the ancient court, he actually knew very little about Zhang and I. He only knew that Zhang and I was looking for someone. He didn't know his background or identity. He only knew his name, and even the cultivation trajectory was found from the Holy Land. If Zhang and I opened the cellar and then turned against him, what could they do? However, he had no right to doubt it, because Zhang and I could easily destroy the entire ancient domain world. If they really had bad intentions, they could just kill one person and explore. The logic was clear. But there are still people who will turn you into a dead end. Even the 3 talents immortals cannot avoid it. The younger and less talented Baiwei Immortal King will also fall into this tangled Shura field. Watching the familiar true immortals and Daijins fall one by one, he suffered psychological torture. What is all this for? For the human race? I am afraid that only the Dragon Guild will think so. The rest of the people are pursuing strength. Since the appearance of the Emperor after the era of the Ascendants to the current struggle for the Tao, many people have seen this world clearly. Only when you are strong can you be useful. What human race? What ancient domain world? What does it have to do with me? After the Dao Jun, they began to enter the chaos. The strength continued to improve, and even many emperors appeared. They did not belong to the ancient court or the monks of the Holy Land. They were just pure lone walkers. Because the ancient domain world did not have the opportunity of the Dao Jun and the Emperor, they went deep into the chaos one by one, went to some dangerous places, and even settled in other worlds. None of them returned to the ancient domain world, because they felt it was unnecessary. The ancient domain world made them stagnate, so they have to go to a world where they can improve themselves. Their approach is similar to Jian Wushuang, who moves forward step by step in pursuit of power. They never look back. They can be called heartless or indifferent. They are all moving forward for the Tao. In fact, Long Gong and others are the same, but their Taos are different. Some people want to be powerful themselves, while others want to make their people powerful. They are both right. Chasing Tao is helpless. This is also the excuse that Long Gong and others found for themselves. On the battlefield of the decisive battle, the 3 emperors of the Holy Land suddenly flew out of their own camp. The 3 looked in the direction of the Holy Land at the same time. Oh no, we have been fooled. Someone is attacking the Holy Land. Everyone get on the flying boat and go back immediately. Unfortunately, it was too late. If Zhang and I wanted to take action, he could actually do it head-on. The reason why he had to wait was because Long Gong and others planned to let their own people die. When they were almost dead, Zhang and I would take action. In the direction of the Holy Land, a dazzling light shot up into the sky. The 3 emperors of the Holy Land were killed instantly, even though they were hundreds of millions of miles away. Together with all the monks of the Holy Land who participated in the decisive battle, they all fell. The Holy Land was killed with one sword. From then on, the ancient domain world completely became the world of the ancient court. With the end of the decisive battle, soon the entire ancient domain world began to merge. However, the Holy Mountain was still preserved. But if you want to go to the Holy Mountain, you must become an emperor. In addition, the ancient court also shattered all the sequence inheritances. If you want to practice the secret method of the divine eye below the level of the emperor, You only need one immortal crystal to exchange for the first turn secret method of practice. You must become an emperor to practice later. With this rule, more emperors will appear in the ancient domain world from now on. Although this is a low-level chaotic world, there are many emperors born there. If the Holy Land had not taken away half of the territory, there would be at least hundreds of emperors in the ancient domain world now. After this battle, the Taoism of the ancient domain world was stabilized, and from then on emperors would be born like mushrooms after rain. In the past, this was something that the contemporary immortal king of Guting should be proud of. But now, because of the appearance of Jiang and I, the secret of the ancient domain star seller was broken. Therefore, he did not put much effort in managing the ancient domain world. He handed it all over to his subordinates. The core figures of Guting gathered outside the cellar. Can't get in. Long Gong was surprised. How could this happen? Xianxia is still in there? I can't feel his breath anymore. Baiwei Immortal King said anxiously. What happened in the cellar? Sanxi's breath disappeared. Could it be that he fell? If this is true, then there is a terrifying existence in the cellar. Let me try. Jiang and I took a step forward, without drawing her sword, and a burst of sword energy suddenly burst out and hit the barrier to enter the cellar. Ha! She frowned. Her sword energy was actually useless against this barrier. When it touched the barrier, the sword energy was instantly shattered. She was a little unconvinced, and even drew her sword and attacked with all her strength. Still couldn't shake the band that reappeared here. I can't break it? Jiang and I was shocked. Her current full-strength attack has the level of 80,000 divine power. Unexpectedly, she couldn't break it. Seeing that she was helpless, everyone was also surprised. This barrier seems to isolate the void, said Yuan Zhang Tianzuan, who had seen a lot. I once found an ancient book about void monsters in a relic. It recorded a barrier that isolates the void, which is very similar to this barrier. Void monsters. Everyone looked at Yuan Zhang Tianzuan in confusion. Although they also went out to explore the past, the void monster is a relatively niche rumor. Even Yuanjing Tianzuan didn't take it seriously, and naturally didn't mention this matter. Jiang and I also took a look. Although her strength was extremely strong, she had been traveling a lot. She knew the least. Now she heard Yuanjing Tianzuan talking about the void monster. She was also confused. Could it be that this kind of monster is hidden in the cellar? It's possible, but to be able to kill the 3 talents instantly, or to suppress the 3 talents, the power of this monster is probably not simple. At least the top of the 5th level or even the 6th level of the Emperor. Baiwei Immortal King was surprised and said, if that's the case, why didn't this monster take action at the beginning, but waited until I left before taking action, and we have entered the cellar together in the past? If he wanted to take action, why did he wait until today? Is there a possibility that this monster appeared because of the changes in the ancient building? Don't forget that after Jiang and I broke through the 2 ancient buildings, the cosmic god that appeared destroyed some of the cellar formations. Could it be that the monster couldn't escape along the formations? Although it is stronger than the few of us, Jiang and I is here, so he dare not show up, and waited until we left before he took action. Long Gong's words made everyone fall into deep thought. Not to mention, this possibility is the greatest. It's a pity that they didn't guess it completely. But they also figured out the general situation. At this moment, the cellar in the barrier. The black fog is surging. The fighting has never stopped. The battle outside was over, but the battle inside the cellar had just begun. It all started when Jian Wushuang comprehended the formation here. At that time, he found a loophole in the formation and wanted to break through from here. As a result, at this time, the Void Monk outside suddenly broke in. But the strongest combat power of that group of Void Monk was barely a 6th-level Emperor, and was no match for Jian Wushuang at all. He could kill them at will by calling the Yunhai Guardian. It was that simple. But after the Yunhai Guardian killed all the Void Monk, the formation here suddenly vibrated. Countless monsters rushed out of the broken loophole. They were not the God Eye clan. They were Void Monks. Countless Void Monarchs rushed out. At first, they were just ordinary emperors, and later they were almost all the top 6th-level emperors. Jian Wushuang had 5 golden armor puppets around him, each with 50,000 times the divine power, so it was not difficult to deal with the 6th-level emperor. But it was not a solution to keep fighting like this, so he thought about leaving this place first. It turned out that those void monks who turned into mist had condensed a barrier. The power of this barrier continued to rise and become stronger. In a short period of time, a cosmic barrier was directly condensed. Jian Wushuang could not break it even with a full-strength attack. His current power was too weak, and his strongest was still his soul consciousness. Unfortunately, the soul will was the most useless at this time because it was a barrier, a dead thing. If he couldn't open the barrier, he couldn't get out. He could only bite the bullet and rush to the magic kiln. But before they entered, it was no longer the Void Emperor who appeared in the magic kiln, but the Void Supreme. The number was the same as the Emperor. Dozens appeared in one breath. The 5 golden armor puppets were instantly crushed. Even the silver armor puppets that formed the formation were destroyed without leaving any residue. This is his most important team. He was still waiting for Yunhai to protect him and the others to capture the Divine Eye Clan monks. But they all died here. Fortunately, Xiangyang and Juchen were both collected by him in advance. Otherwise, they would also die. After all, dozens of Supreme Masters rushed out at the same time and attacked at the same time. The condensed power is already not weaker than the Tribulation Realm. Fortunately, Jian Wushuang is the flesh of a world beast, and he resisted countless attacks, but his flesh could not break the defense. And he still has this world tree. Demon Cloud. Crash. The leaves of the world tree wrapped around his whole body, and 2 vines also wrapped around Jian Wushuang's arms. He used the 2 vines to continuously whip these void absolute peaks. He didn't want to kill them with one blow, but to block them first. Because there are too many void absolute peaks now, they are too numerous to count, at least tens of thousands of void absolute peaks. Jian Wushuang has been sticking to the barrier and constantly observing it. He was surprised to find that the more void absolute peaks he killed, the stronger the barrier became. Now the power in the barrier is at least more than 1 million divine powers. At the minimum, it requires a universe master of the 6 calamities to break it. The universe master who attacked the weak point didn't even break it, and only the universe master of the 7 calamities could instantly break the barrier. What should I do? Jian Wushuang was also a little anxious. He directly revealed his true body. He transformed into a world beast with a size of millions of miles, and used the powerful power of the world beast itself to continuously hit those void absolute peaks. Now he couldn't kill them directly. The more he killed, the more dangerous he would be. It would be fine if he couldn't get out at that time. If a more powerful void cultivator appeared, wouldn't he be killed here today? Zhang and I? Xiangyang? Zhou Chen? It seemed that none of these 3 people could be trusted. Zhang and I was still far from the fusion of the Tao. Now only 2 paths had reached the edge of the fusion of the Tao. There was still one path of death. There was still a complete road to the fusion of the Tao. It would be impossible to break the restriction for a while. Even if she succeeded in the fusion of the Tao, relying on the treasures of the entire ancient domain world, she could quickly improve to the peak of perfection. Zhang Ni's combat power could not be directly comparable to the 7 Tribulations realm. Then there would be no way to break this barrier. As for Xiangyang and Zhou Chen, these 2 were even more unreliable. They were still in seclusion to fusion of the Tao. Now he could only rely on himself, or hope that the Lord of the universe from the outside world would come. This hope was also very slim. In the end, I still have to rely on myself. Jian Wushuang shook his head helplessly. He began to patrol the surroundings, using the magic cloud vine to entangle tens of thousands of void supreme peaks, not killing them but just severely injuring them. They seemed to have no consciousness. After a round of inspection, there was nothing special to find. But he saw the flaw of this group of void supreme peaks, or a key factor. Without consciousness, but they can besiege me so clearly? There must be a certain consciousness behind them directing them to do this. As long as I find this consciousness, I can break it. After Jian Wushuang made up his mind, he no longer fled, but took the initiative to attack. Enter the demon kiln. His heart moved. Two vines kept pushing away the surrounding void supreme peaks, rushing towards the dark demon kiln. Sure enough, when he approached the demon kiln, those void monks became even crazier. Even if they were severely injured, they would rush over to fight Jian Wushuang to death. Obviously, the consciousness behind them was anxious. If they were anxious to enter the demon kiln, then the other party would hide in the demon kiln. Jian Wushuang raised the corners of his mouth and sneered in his heart. Playing tricks with me? Who is he? What has the former 9-star universe god not seen? Those extremely powerful killing moves can be easily broken. Not to mention this small scene. Get out of here! Jian Wushuang waved two vines and directly killed the void peaks that surrounded him, taking advantage of this gap. He flashed and entered the demon kiln in an instant. Swish! As soon as he entered, he directly launched a will attack. God Destroyer! Buzz! The powerful willpower swept the entire demon kiln. In the demon kiln, Jian Wushuang felt a huge divine power. Even he felt it was huge, at least it was the divine power of the universe god. 100 million divine power reserves? Jian Wushuang raised his eyebrows. It should be prepared by the 9 worries true god for himself, but I didn't expect that this void monster would think of it. The will of the 9 worries true god had been destroyed. These divine powers also became ownerless. So they were mass-produced to produce these void monks. The only thing that Jian Wushuang didn't understand was why this consciousness sent out ordinary emperors and top emperors to die, and finally sent out the top of the void. Isn't this consuming divine power? And why did they besiege them? 100 million divine powers, as long as that consciousness absorbs 10 million, it will be the combat power of the 8 tribulations realm. Isn't it just killing people indiscriminately if they go out? Moreover, the source of divine power is alive. The constantly generated void absolute peak consumes 50,000 divine power at a time, and 50,000 times also consumes 50,000 divine power. It replenishes quickly. It is not a waste. It is just not necessary unless it is good for that consciousness. Still not coming out? Jian Wushuang shouted angrily. If you hide again, don't blame me for being rude. Senior, spare my life. A beam of light suddenly appeared in front of him, instantly illuminating the entire magic kiln. When the surrounding scene appeared in front of Jian Wushuang, he found that this was a bright hall. What kind of magic kiln is this? It is simply a treasure land. And there is also a universe-level source here. The origin of the universe, the source of the divine power of the universe god. These two benefits can make countless universe masters crazy. Jian Wushuang also raised his eyebrows. Although these things are not very helpful to him. After all, he does not have a divine body yet, and at most he can let his physical body devour some of the universe's origin. But he can use the source of divine power to cultivate his own magic cloud vines. The current magic cloud vine has 100,000 divine power and only 2 vines. If 100 million divine powers are cultivated, it may be completely promoted to the level of the Lord of the Universe. The World Tree as the top life level in the starry sky. After being promoted to the level of the Lord of the Universe, it can be said to be infinitely powerful. Come out to see me. Don't play tricks. Senior, I can't come out. I'm in the void. I can't come out. The voice sounded again. Jian Wushuang frowned and replied, If I find you, you're done. Senior has the willpower of the God of the universe. It's no problem to kill me. You don't even need to find me. The voice was very frightened. I won't feel at ease if I don't see you. Jian Wushuang's figure didn't understand, and he pointed out with 2 fingers, instantly pushing open the space-time layer and entering the deep void. After entering this place, he saw a black meatball. It looked very familiar. When he was in the ancient moon time and space, he also saw such a meatball. But that meatball was pink. This is a black meatball. A terrifying void power emanated from his whole body. But when he saw Jian Wushuang appear in front of him, he was shocked. You can actually get in? Jian Wushuang sneered. How can you be so sure that I can't get in? This is the unique void that true God Juyo refined for me. Even the God of the universe can't get in. How did you do it? Ha ha. Jian Wushuang laughed after hearing this. How much do you know about the God of the universe? This time he asked someone else. Last time he also asked someone else. But the reasons for both times were different. Jian Wushuang asked others before because he didn't know, but now he knows, so he pretends to be mysterious and asks others. The black meatball stammered back. The God of the universe is divided into lower gods, middle gods, upper gods, perfect gods, and great perfect upper gods. Which category does the 9 worries true God belong to? Upper God. The black meatball answered honestly. Jian Wushuang couldn't help laughing after hearing this. A God of the universe that is not even 3 stars is called an upper God? Then the perfect upper God you are talking about is at most a 4-star God of the universe, and the great perfect upper God is at most a 5-star God of the universe. With this little strength, you also say that it is a perfect God of the universe. Star. What is that? The black meatball seemed very curious, but his hands were not honest. No. Or rather, this meatball was not honest. It was constantly infusing divine power. It had exceeded 200,000 divine powers. Jian Wushuang didn't need to guess what he wanted to do. You'd better be honest. The 2 vines on his arms rushed out instantly and directly controlled him. He could barely beat the meatball with 200,000 divine powers. But if he suppressed it with his will, that would not be enough. The other party was not a member of the God's Eye clan, and the burning soul was not afraid of suppression. Could make Jian Wushuang afraid. It was a pity that this meatball was just a void creature. Now I ask a question and you say a question. If you dare to move, I will kill you. Jian Wushuang's tone was cold. He was not joking. He was warning the other party. The black meatball nodded repeatedly and replied, Senior, don't kill me. I will tell you whatever you ask. As long as you keep my life, I will be your slave. Jian Wushuang's face was dark. This meatball was too cowardly. After all, it was also the combat power of the robbery realm. It was so afraid of death. It didn't look like a cultivator. It was more like a true spirit. Why did the 9 worries God imprison you? The black meatball said indignantly. The 9 worries God is a pervert. I just devoured his hometown, and he imprisoned me, deprived me of my cosmic origin, and tortured my body all the time. Jian Wushuang was speechless. He thought he had heard it wrong. The more he listened, the more he felt that there was something wrong with what the other party said. Swallowed the home universe of the 9 worries God? Blamed the other party for depriving his origin? These 2 things seemed to have a causal relationship. If this guy hadn't swallowed the hometown of the 9 worries God, how could he be imprisoned here? He still has the face to be wronged? Jian Wushuang was speechless. If this guy had swallowed the North time and space, he would definitely be more furious than the 9 worries God. The pineapple origin, consciousness, flesh, and divine body tortured the eternal era one by one. It will definitely make the other party regret it forever. It was just ordinary torture, and the 9 worries God was normal enough. Then he began to ask other questions, mainly about the problems of this sect, and the 9 worries God himself. As for the most interested God Eye clan, he didn't ask. Because the other party might not know about this matter, even if he knew, he couldn't ask directly, lest he be found out. From the mouth of the black meatball, Jian Wushuang first learned the other party's name. Black Prisoner. The greatest master of the universe of the void lineage. This is the other party's self-introduction. Jian Wushuang didn't see much greatness, but the other party was really like a ball. The peak combat power was about half God, and he had never been to the heaven. He had been wandering in the 9-sided spacetime. The 9-sided spacetime is an abbreviation for many chaotic universes. According to Xianxia, the other side of the universe C is heaven. They are located in the 9-sided chaotic universe under heaven. It is also called the 9-sided spacetime. Can't be called spacetime. There are too few universes here. Can't be compared with the North spacetime. The original universe of the North spacetime is like the stars. It's hard to count. Whether there are hundreds of seats in the universe here is a question. There may not be any secret realms at the level of spacetime. A universe has millions of origins, and the universe god can easily open up hundreds of universes. This is not considered the birth of spacetime. So Jian Wushuang thinks this place is not worthy of being called the nine-sided spacetime. But when in Rome, do as the Romans do and don't care so much. Call it whatever you want. He Cho first talked about his reputation in the nine-sided spacetime. He was originally a void cultivator in the first time and space. From an ordinary void cultivator, he became unstoppable after he gambled and devoured a high-level world as an emperor. He completed 3 leaps in the shortest time. The first time was to become the peak perfection, starting with devouring a high-level chaotic world. The second gamble was to directly devour a universe secret realm, directly leaping to become the master of the universe in the 3 calamities realm, and also mastered a universe secret realm. The last time was to devour the hometown of the 9 worries true god. It was an extremely huge universe. There were thousands of universe masters inside, and the strongest one among them had reached the terrifying 9 calamities realm. As He Cho said this, he couldn't help but yearn for his peak time and space. At the beginning, I was only the master of the universe in the 3 calamities realm. Although there was a universe secret realm added to my body, I was still not afraid. I resolutely entered the home universe of the 9 worries god, starting from a high-level world, nibbling step by step, and finally I controlled that universe and devoured it. This was his highlight moment. When he said it, he described it with emotion. Jian Wushuang looked calm on the surface, but he admired this fat black man in his heart. A 3 tribulation realm universe master actually dared to devour the hometown of the universe god. And he really succeeded. This gamble directly promoted He Cho to the 9 tribulation realm universe master. In the 9-dimensional space, the strongest is only a demigod. None of the void cultivators can become a demigod, and they can't even reach the 9 tribulation realm, and they were besieged and fell. But the biggest feature of He Cho is that he only plays big and can endure. He endured for hundreds of millions of years in the hometown of the 9 worry god, and finally succeeded in the layout and took over this super universe. When he became the 9 tribulation realm, everyone thought he was going to show his fangs and devour some weak universes. But unexpectedly, this guy disappeared again at this time. When he appeared again, it was a disaster for the entire 9-dimensional space. But this time he failed. After cooperating with the void cultivators to devour hundreds of universes in succession, he was suppressed on the spot by the 9 worry god who came from the lower world. From then on, he became a prisoner. This also confirms his name, Black Prisoner. Your story is fascinating. Haha. It's just so. It's okay in the lower realm, but compared with the god of the universe, it's just a little bit less interesting. You are not being modest. Jian Wushuang sneered and said, but I'm asking about the god of 9 worries. I'm not interested in your story at all. Having said that, he is actually a little interested. The other party had traveled through the entire Jufang spacetime. At least he understood how big the lower world was. Jufang spacetime, there were about 1 million universes back then. There were even more universe masters. And he clearly knew his location. Jufang spacetime, the northern corner of the 7th spacetime, the chaos domain. There are about 180 universes gathered here. And the chaotic universe they are in is just one of them. There are universe masters, but not many. As for more detailed locations, there is no reference value. In the future, when he goes out to explore, at least he knows where to go. Black Prisoner sighed and began to talk about the 9 worries god. After he was suppressed, he was always held in the hands of the 9 worries god. So he knew a lot of things. For example, this sect. In fact, it was taken away from his original universe. Because the home universe of the 9 worries god was swallowed by him, those ancient sects entered his original universe. So it was from his original universe that the sect where the 9 worries god was originally located was taken away. This sect is very old, and the 9 worries god grew up in this sect. His growth experience is also very exciting. But Jian Wushuang was too lazy to listen, so he just asked He Cho to make it short. Geo God, his rise was very simple, it was just a sect experience. From an outer sect mortal, he broke through to become a true immortal, and then he flew all the way. It took him 10,000 years to become the ultimate emperor, and 100,000 years to become the master of the universe. In less than 100 million years, GeoGod really became a god. From then on, the first time and space were almost all the territory of GeoGod. But to the outside world, he has always been low-key and mysterious. But what Xianxia knew from this sect was not like this. When Joyo became the god of the universe, he took advantage of the short time he could move in the lower world and frantically gathered treasures and sent them to this Dong Tian sect. After gathering all the treasures of the entire first time and space in Dong Tian sect, he crossed the sea to the heavens. From then on, there was no more god of the universe in the nine-sided time and space. This matter has nothing to do with GeoGod's collection of treasures. Because most cultivators, after becoming the master of the universe, began to try to cross the sea to the heavens. After all, the nine-sided time and space is too small. They are a little small for the Lord of the universe. There is not a single secret realm of the time and space level, and there is not much room for adventure, so most of them went to the heaven. There are also many who have no pursuits, or who are worried about the nine-sided time and space, and choose to stay. This is why there are so few top-level powerhouses in the entire nine-sided time and space. So much so that when the Black Prisoner devoured the hometown of the Nine-Worry God, few universe gods dared to investigate his whereabouts. They all turned a blind eye. It's not that they don't have the will, but they don't have the strength to stop it. In the end, it was the Nine-Worry God who took action, otherwise this guy would have succeeded. The most terrifying thing about the Void Cultivator is devouring. This is a fine tradition inherited from the world beast. There is no limit to swallowing. After swallowing hundreds of universes, the power of the Black Prisoner has reached an astonishing 50 million. There are few demigods in the nine-sided time and space who can stop him. If it weren't for the Nine-Worry God letting the Black Prisoner devour, the entire nine-sided time and space would be swallowed by this guy, and at least a 5-star level universe god would be raised by then. Even the heaven can't take him down. According to Black Prisoner, the god of the universe in heaven, the great perfection upper god, is the 5-star god of the universe. It is already the pinnacle. I just don't know how many cosmic gods there are in heaven. Xianxia continued to talk about the conspiracy of GeoGod. This guy is the most sinister, the most calculating guy I have ever seen. The treasures he collected were not for the sect at all, but for an evil treasure in the sect. The reason why he rose so quickly was because of that trial, which attracted the evil treasure and became the guy chosen by the evil treasure. Jian Wushuang's eyes became serious. I didn't expect there would be an unexpected surprise. It is said that every cosmic god has a shocking secret. This is normal. Otherwise, it would be like a dream to want to become a cosmic god in a plain and indifferent way. Evil treasure? Jian Wushuang frowned and asked, "What treasure is it?" After hearing his inquiry, Xianxia said with a somewhat complaining tone, "Old man, don't make fun of me. The breadth of that treasure is exactly the same as yours. How could you not know?" Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes and looked at the big black ball. "It seems that you already knew it. So why are you going around in circles with me?" He couldn't help but improve his will a lot, and at the same time let his mind power look for treasures related to his own breath. The evil treasure that Xianxia mentioned has the same aura as his own. So there is only one possibility, that evil treasure is related to the world beast. After searching with his telekinesis, Jian Wushuang did not find the treasure. But he felt that his pressure suddenly increased a lot. It was as if he was being grabbed by someone. Ha! Jian Wushuang stood up suddenly, and the world beasts will also burst out instantly. Ah! A thunderous thunder made the whole ruins tremble. "Come out! I know you are listening." Jian Wushuang appeared directly. When the tall body of the world beast appeared, Xianxia held his breath and kept retreating. Speaking of it, the ancestor of the Void Cultivator is still the world beast. If it comes to bloodline, the life of the entire starry sky comes from the world beast. But the bloodline inherited by the Void Cultivator is the highest, so it is considered the royal bloodline. Unfortunately, the world beast does not recognize this, they only recognize the origin. Jian Wushuang's world beast origin is still a prototype. The will and the body are the real world beast. Not long after he finished speaking, an ancient voice came over. You can't be a world beast. There are no world beasts as weak as you in the land of chaos. Who are you? Just because there are no world beasts in the land of chaos doesn't mean there are no world beasts in the starry sky, Jian Wushuang replied. After a moment of silence, the other party replied, Starry sky? Are you a star spirit? No. Jian Wushuang shook his head. If he was a star spirit, he would have found out the other party long ago, and he wouldn't have wasted so much time talking to the other party. That's right, star spirits are not as weak as you. This was a bit hurtful, but Jian Wushuang couldn't find a reason to refute it. You can't say that you have the potential to be a star spirit. Then let me guess your identity. Jian Wushuang became interested and said leisurely, You should be the world beast that broke the world god continent. You know me? The voice that came contained a sense of surprise. Jian Wushuang said proudly, Of course I know. I also know that Morosa has been thinking about saving you. So he has been devouring the world god continent in the consciousness world. If I'm not mistaken, where is the consciousness of the world god continent? The consciousness god realm is the consciousness of the world god continent. The illusory world is also part of the world god continent. Morosa. The voice was filled with reminiscence. It was as if he had returned to the ancient past. I remember, Morosa, my good brother. He is fighting for our ideals. He is fighting against that supreme being. We want to kill those supreme beings. This is our great ideal. This time Jian Wushuang was stunned. He had intended to fool the other party, but ended up being fooled by him. Supreme being? What the hell is this? And Morosa is fighting against the supreme being? Could it be that he is talking about the God King? The God King does have the strength of a supreme being. But Morosa is not qualified enough. Jian Wushuang calmed down and said sarcastically, Morosa's strength is no match for the God King. You think too much. God King. Who is the God King? It's the supreme being you mentioned. He opened up the starry sky. Jian Wushuang said indifferently. Swish. In the darkness, a huge arm flew out, grabbing Jian Wushuang and Heiqiu. Jian Wushuang saw this, and with a move of his mind, he directly isolated the other party. This scared Heiqiu, and he had been trembling in the corner, because he was very afraid of that arm. He was even more afraid of the conversation between Jian Wushuang and that arm just now. He is not. An eye in the palm of his hand stared at Jian Wushuang and said viciously, The one who opened up the starry sky is just a clown. He does not deserve the word supreme. He is a liar. Sooner or later, he will die in my hands. I want to kill him 1,000 times. It is not enough. Gemengard, every one of you said so. At this point, his brows moved, thinking of something, and exclaimed, You said that the God King is not the supreme being? Then who is? The arm trembled, and there was no anger in his tone, but a hint of fear. Jormungandr. Who is he? He is the supreme being. You said that Morosa is fighting against the supreme being, and you said that the supreme being is not the God King but Jormungandr. A name flashed in Jian Wushuang's eyes. Grand Kai? He said this title carefully. The arm also began to shrink, and finally became a black arm that was 10 feet long. He did not speak again, but he had already acquiesced. This gave Jian Wushuang a big surprise. The supreme being was Jormungandr, that is, the one. If this was the case, he had to examine his position. He came out of the conscious God realm. Standing on that side, he knew very well. This was the starry sky of the God King. He must support the God King. But he did not expect to learn from this broken arm that the strongest person in the realm God continent, the God of the world, is actually a supreme being. Perhaps even the God King cannot defeat the other party. And the world beasts are frantically attacking the world God continent because of the other party. Supreme being. He has seen it in his broken memory. But he and the supreme being are the opposing party. For a moment, Jian Wushuang's mind was very confused. He couldn't understand why the supreme being could enter the starry sky and why the God King ignored it. Why did the world beast suddenly change and become one of his own? Now he is also a world beast. It seems that there is no grudge between him and the world beast, but more of the same race. Jian Wushuang is very entangled. Why? Why do you have a connection with the Supreme Being? You attack the starry sky. Isn't it just to seek revenge on the God King? He asked a series of questions. The arms slowly drooped, and he muttered to himself in a hoarse voice, "Why? This question also bothers me. The land of chaos was originally our home, but the traitor God King appeared. He is a noble king of world beasts, but he betrayed his tribe. But we don't blame him, we hate him more, and feel that it's not worth it for those brothers. But Jormungandr, he must die. If he doesn't die, sooner or later all the world beasts will be killed by him. He is crazier than the God King. What is his purpose?" Jian Wushuang asked tentatively. "He wants to add order to the land of chaos." Jian Wushuang's eyes were shocked when he heard this. This is too exaggerated. He actually wants to create order for the land of chaos. What are the identities of these supreme beings? Are they also world beasts? Jian Wushuang has no way of knowing. The arm knows very superficially. But there is one truth he understands, that is, after the land of chaos has order, the fate of all world beasts will be the same as when the starry sky was opened up. Annihilation becomes part of the land of chaos. So these world beasts have to resist. From the perspective of the world beasts, Jian Wushuang instantly felt that the world beasts did not represent evil, but more like a kind of resistance. A kind of resistance. Also, in his memory, on the battlefield under the sacred mountain, those supreme beings in white climbed up and shattered the sacred mountain. And Teacher Xuanyi was the guardian of the sacred mountain. So Jian Wushuang and the supreme beings were on opposite sides. No matter from which angle, they were opposites. Because of Teacher Xuanyi, or because of his current identity as a world beast. Jian Wushuang also understood a lot at this moment. Suddenly he saw the essence of the world. This was much more shocking than the ultimate secret of the starry sky. Is there a possibility that the world beasts in the disordered land are part of this world? And the practitioners in the starry sky are all acquired life, and their flesh, blood and power all come from the world beasts. Those supreme beings, if they want to break the disorder and build an orderly world, they have to sacrifice these world beasts. He didn't know how many world beasts there were, but he knew how powerful the world beasts were. But they couldn't stop those supreme beings, and finally the sacred mountain collapsed. The world became an orderly world. All the world beasts were shattered and turned into universes, time and space, and starry sky, creating a vast sea of star civilization. That was after failure. Jian Wushuang didn't know if the orderly world was right. Great ideal, he just sighed. Because these things were too far away from him. He was not strong enough to control this matter. Maybe one day he would have that ability, and maybe his mentality would change. He drooped his arms, raised them again, and the eye in the palm of his hand looked at Jian Wushuang. "I know your body is my former body, but your will is stronger, but these are not important to the world beasts. What is important is the origin. Although I don't know what your identity is, I still want to tell you that you must be careful of Jormungandr in the starry sky. He is more terrible than the God King. You haven't mastered the origin yet. This world is your best place to practice. Once you enter the world God continent, he will not give you time to grow and will definitely hunt you down. You have to become strong enough here, otherwise don't go out." Jian Wushuang said coldly, "Why should I believe you? Why does the Supreme Being want to kill me again? Even if I can reach the God of time and space, I can't threaten that kind of existence, and what they want is all the world beasts in the land of disorder. They won't do it when facing me alone." He still had some illusions in his heart. After all, the Jormungandr mentioned by the other party had some favors for him. He would not change his mind just because of what others said. After hearing his words, the arm trembled slightly, as if mocking him. "You are too naive. The supreme beings have no feelings. They will be very responsible to eliminate all obstacles. Even if you are his son, he will not hesitate to attack you." "No feelings?" Jian Wushuang's eyes were a little surprised, but he didn't take it to heart. "You don't need to care. I know my limits. The eyes of the palm were angry, and shouted, "Your body is mine, it's mine. It was originally mine, and I should have revived here and grown in the thunder." Jian Wushuang looked sideways and said in surprise, "Were you suppressed here by someone?" "Ghost eyes," the arm said unwillingly. Only then did Jian Wushuang understand that all this had been arranged long ago. It was just because Jiang and I broke the original plan. Perhaps he should be the one to bring out the 9 worries. Unexpectedly, Jiang and I accidentally opened the cellar and released the 9 worries god. In fact, the broken arm was behind the 9 worries god. Looking at the other party's unwilling eyes, Jian Wushuang also felt that he seemed to be a little too hurtful to the other party. "Don't worry." Morosa didn't worry about his life when facing Jormungandr. "When I go out, I will definitely surpass Morosa. Jormungandr will not be a threat to me." "No," Broken Arm said seriously. "That's because Jormungandr is using the idiot Morosa. You are different. You are too threatening. Ghost Eye is not ordinary. His strength is very strong. The people he values are definitely not ordinary people. I can see that you have unlimited potential, and Jormungandr will also see it. He will definitely kill you." Jian Wushuang spread his hands and said, "What should I do then? Could it be that senior brother Ghost I didn't calculate this?" Broken Arm said proudly, "Of course he calculated it. Otherwise, why would he let you be a stepping stone? Originally, I was resurrected to destroy Jormungandr's consciousness world with my life. That world is the blueprint for the entire disordered land in the future. He did all this to test the future path. So I want to destroy him. Even if I die, I must destroy his consciousness world." Jian Wushuang frowned. He took a deep breath. The consciousness world is actually a consciousness of Jormungandr. There are so many cosmic gods in this consciousness. How strong is Jormungandr? I'm afraid it's just like what the Broken Arm said, an invincible existence. Even the star spirits are no match for him. Perhaps only the God King can fight him. If so, Jormungandr also has the strength of a world beast king. And he is a world beast king in the Mahayana period. He has transcended time and space and the stars. He is an existence above the stars. He is at the same level as the God King. Jian Wushuang is still far from it now. He must at least become a god of time and space. Without the fighting power of a god of time and space, he doesn't even have the qualifications to go to the land of disorder. According to what you mean, after I go out, won't I have to go to the broken consciousness world too? Let me go to die? Jian Wushuang frowned. Why does he feel that the other party is brainwashing him? You don't need to do anything. But I need your help. You haven't even revived yet. How can you do it? Jian Wushuang said in surprise. Broken Arm sneered and said, "You underestimated Ghost Eyes. He has already left a backup plan for me. But I need your help. You say, take me away and put me in the 9th floor of the 9 prison tower. Don't worry about the rest." Broken Arm said truthfully. However, Jian Wushuang was stumped. The other party was able to mention the 9 prison tower, which proved that the other party was fine. There was a high probability that all of this was true. The only thing that made him feel difficult was to throw the other party to the 9th floor of the 9 prison tower. He really couldn't do this at the moment. Now, let alone the 9th floor, even the 4th floor made him feel difficult. Seeing Jian Wushuang's expression change, Broken Arm was surprised and said, "Don't tell you don't know the 9 prisons tower. That's not the case." Jian Wushuang shook his head and said, "It's just that I'm still a little far from the 9th floor. I know if you can open the 9th floor, you should have the origin of the world beast." Broken Arm said indifferently, "Tell me how many floors you are now. Have you reached the level of mastering the origin?" "The 3rd floor?" Question mark. Broken Arm said angrily. "I see that you have been here for tens of thousands of years. In these tens of thousands of years, you have only broken through 3 floors. In 10,000 years, you have broken through 3 floors? Is it slow or fast?" Jian Wushuang asked curiously. This time Broken Arm was speechless. In his opinion, with the eyes of Ghost Eye looking for a helper, at least find a peerless genius. 10,000 years, not to mention breaking through the 9th floor, the first 7 floors should be no problem. Who would have thought that Jian Wushuang broke through 3 floors in 10,000 years? Hearing Jian Wushuang say that the first 3 floors were broken through because he captured a member of the God Eye clan, he almost fainted. From now on, I will teach you the secret method of the divine eye. You! Jian Wushuang was a little unconvinced. Broken Arm said coldly, don't forget who the divine eye secret method refers to. Come to think of it, this is the same clan as the world beast. What about now? I can't stay here forever. Broken Arm said calmly. You can stay still, but this primitive star can move. Oh! Jian Wushuang was surprised. Is this the primitive star? Well, if you call it that, it's a divine weapon. Jian Wushuang was happy in his heart, so he didn't have to look for the domain flying boat. Driving the primitive star, he was invincible in the 9-sided space and time. He didn't feel happy for long before someone extinguished his fantasy with a cold water. There is too little power in this primitive star. Can't be blessed to the peak at all. Even the ocean of divine power of the universe God can barely drive this primitive star. The speed is okay. A world in 1 day can cross a chaotic world. 100 years can cross a universe. Jian Wushuang can accept this speed. It's just that there is no powerful primitive star, so he can only use it to hurry on. The Broken Arm can guide him to practice the divine eye secret art. There is no need to capture the divine eye clan this time. It will not be too late to capture them all after his strength is restored. As a result, under the guidance of the Broken Arm, he has not even reached the entry level of the 4th turn of the divine eye secret art in 3,000 years. The Broken Arm Gagarin was not angry, but took the initiative to comfort him. Jian Wushuang, you are actually quite talented, but you are not suitable for practicing the divine eye secret art. You are more suitable for killing. Go, take the original star to find the strong men of the divine eye clan. I have some information here. In a cosmic-level secret realm, there are several strong men of the divine eye clan hidden. They may not have awakened yet. Even if your real combat power is not enough, you can easily suppress them. Jian Wushuang looked confused and said, what about you? I've been lying for billions of years, so I don't need your time. Go ahead. Leave before I get angry. Jian Wushuang curled his lips. He felt that there was something wrong with him. There was something wrong with the other party's teaching. This can't be blamed on him. But if you want to leave, you have to take something with you. For example, Heiqiu. This guy is a good helper. Heiqiu, are you willing to help me? Heiqiu said with a slick mouth. If you don't abandon me, I am willing to worship you as my foster father. Be serious. Jian Wushuang shouted. If you follow me in the future, I will help you become a cosmic god. But you have to help me capture some god eyes first, and you have a high status among the void cultivators. I need you to help me contact the entire lower world void cultivators and help me find the whereabouts of the god eyes. Don't worry, sir. This is too easy for me. Heiqiu seemed very excited, although he didn't understand a word of what Jian Wushuang said to Duanbi before. It was the Supreme Being and the God King. He had never heard of them. The only one who knew was Weiss. He knew this. When he heard that Jian Wushuang knew Weiss, he recognized Jian Wushuang's thigh. He had to hold on tight. The God of the universe was not a dream. Well, as long as you are dedicated, the God of time and space is not a problem. Jian Wushuang started to paint a big picture. He had not helped others to fulfill his promises. Gagarin with a broken arm re-entered the darkness. Jian Wushuang and the Black Prisoner left the magic kiln with a god of the universe and a sea of divine power. The source of divine power was used to bless this primitive star, and Jian Wushuang could not take it away. But the treasures of this Dongtian sect were plundered by him. These treasures were enough to promote his demon cloud tree to the level of the Lord of the Universe. The demon cloud tree was a special life that defied the heavens at the level of millions of lives. The treasures required were also extremely demanding. Even all the treasures of a super sect below the God of the Universe could only barely allow the demon cloud tree to be promoted to the level of the Lord of the Universe. Even that was not enough, and it was only after Black Prisoner released a lot of void power that the demon cloud tree completely evolved. Master! After growing to the Lord of the Universe, the demon cloud tree also gained consciousness. This made Jian Wushuang very excited. He immediately asked, Moyun, how is your current strength? How many vines can you use? 9. Jian Wushuang was a little disappointed. Only 9 vines, this is too few. The top has 2 vines, and this has become the Lord of the Universe. At least the combat power has increased by dozens of times. At least there should be dozens of vines. Unexpectedly, Moyun said faintly, Master, my limit as the Lord of the Universe is only 36 vines. It means that it is already very good to use 9 vines now. Jian Wushuang began to paint a big picture again. Moyun, as a leaf of the world tree, you have 100 life levels. You should not say that your limit is 36 vines. Your limit should be infinite. Don't worry. With my help you will become even stronger. Thank you, Master. Black Prisoner stood by with an unchanged expression and secretly cursed Jian Wushuang in his heart for fooling even a tree. Just now he said he would help him become the god of the universe and the god of space and time. Then he turned around and asked him to release his power to cultivate a tree. By the way, how much power do you have per vine now? Jian Wushuang asked casually. Mo Yun replied obediently, 1 million power per vine. Jian Wushuang's eyes almost cracked after hearing this. A vine has 1 million divine powers? This is not a question of strength or not, this is too abnormal. Even if its life level is high, how high can it be? Is it higher than the boundary beast? The boundary beast enters and leaves the Lord of the Universe, and has 9 million divine powers, which is normal. He didn't expect the demon cloud tree to be so heaven-defying. The Black Prisoner stared suspiciously. Master Jian Wushuang, I suspect this tree is deceiving you? As he said that, he conjured up an axe from nowhere. The demon cloud tree glanced at the Black Prisoner and said disdainfully, I am the great world tree. Although I am now the Lord of the Universe in the 3 tribulations realm, 9 million divine powers are still very easy for me, and this is just pure divine power. With my inherited secret method and the cooperation of the 9 vines, my combat power can be comparable to that of the Lord of the Universe in the 8 tribulations realm, and my combat power is equal to that of the half-step 9 tribulations realm of 15 million. That's exaggerated. 15 million is not even the half-step 9 tribulations realm. Jian Wushuang corrected. He was very happy in his heart. This is the Lord of the Universe in the 3 tribulations realm. If he is cultivated to the level of the universe god, wouldn't he be invincible among the universe gods? If he is the god of space and time, he can probably beat the god of the starry sky. This is the advantage of the life level. It is 1 million times stronger than ordinary life. Among the same level, the starry sky is the best. But the leaves of the world tree are limited, and the leaves that contain the origin of the world tree are even rarer. Because the world tree is in the center of the starry sky. It is very difficult for the star spirits to obtain it, and only the God King can allocate it. The starry sky was opened up because of this world tree. It is conceivable how much this world tree is valued. It is definitely the strongest life in the starry sky. The ancestor of special life. It's a pity that it can't reproduce. No matter how strong it is, there are only a few. If it can reproduce, there will be no giant god clan. The world tree represents the limit of the starry sky, and the giant god clan represents the extreme of the reproduction of the starry sky. However, the world beast is more powerful. There is no upper limit to the life level. The origin can even reach the level of opening up the starry sky. Jian Wushuang clenched his fists. He had all kinds of trump cards in his hand. He had to become stronger. Gagarin's words made him understand that there were no enemies in this world, only different beliefs. The supreme beings wanted to create an orderly world, and Teacher Xuani wanted to maintain the status quo. At present, it seems that Teacher Xuani has this idea. There may be some situations that outsiders don't know. But if you want to understand or participate, you must have a strong enough combat power. The current Jian Wushuang is not enough, far from enough. He must continue to surpass. Hey Chiu, how far are you from the Lord of the Universe now? After hearing this, Xiao immediately flattered, "Master, after I have the origin, I can quickly recover to the level of the Lord of the Universe in the 9 Tribulations realm, and go to the secret realm of the universe outside the Nash universe. There is no problem at all. Well, as you said, if there are really some powerful God Eye clan warriors above the 5th turn hidden in that secret realm, then it depends on your performance." Jian Wushuang raised his eyebrows. "Master, don't worry. The 9 Tribulations realm will definitely not be able to fight back in front of me." Jian Wushuang nodded with satisfaction and said, "Very good. You refine the origin first. I have some things to deal with when I go out." "Yes." Xiao respectfully accepted the order. In fact, Jian Wushuang could completely make a microcosm for Xiao, which is equivalent to an alien universe, and its power may be more powerful. But Jian Wushuang is worried. This little black fat man speaks frivolously and is not reliable at all. Mo Yunting's current combat power can reach the perfection of the 8 Tribulations realm, and he has some confidence, so he dares to let the black prisoner recover some combat power. Otherwise, he is too powerful than himself, and he is somewhat unable to control it. If he is backfired at that time, it will be troublesome. Jian Wushuang's own comprehensive combat power is still too weak. Without the help of Mo Yunting, he can't even deal with the Lord of the Universe. There is no way. In the final analysis, he is still a mortal in the Mahayana period. It is completely relying on the physical body of the world beast and the origin totem to improve so much. Otherwise, let alone the Lord of the Universe, he can't beat the peak. It's time to go out and see how the little girl Zhang and I is doing. Jian Wushuang was thinking about his companions at this time. Originally, he was going to build a force of his own and go to the 9 directions time and space to search for the God Eye clan. As a result, Yunhai Protector and others all died. Now in the 9 Prisons Tower, there are only Xiangyang, Juchen, and Ilwan left. Ilwan is a member of the God Eye clan and will definitely not be able to help him. Xiangyang and Juchen both have good origins, but they are currently at the critical moment of merging with the Tao. After the breakthrough, feeding the origin can quickly become the peak of perfection. At that time, let Ilwan teach the 2 the secret technique of the divine eye of the first 3 turns. After the divine power and origin are up to standard, they can quickly become the calamity realm. Jian Wushuang also has a jar of microcosmic universe. Giving 1 to each person can directly help the 2 grow to the 9 calamities realm or even the semi-god level. With these 2 great helpers, he will not have to rely on the black prisoner. After feeling the progress of the 2 peoples merging with the Tao, there is still a long way to go. Jian Wushuang did not care about the 2 people anymore, but passed through the barrier to the outside of the ancient domain star. Swish! After leaving the cellar, the ancient domain star has not changed much from the past. Only the number of cultivators has decreased a lot. At present, there are only hundreds of thousands of cultivators in the entire ancient domain star. But each of these cultivators is a Taoist monarch. There are also many emperors. These days, the ancient domain star has developed well. What a pity! Jian Wushuang is leaving. He is going to take the ancient domain star away. This time, he came out without any detours. He was going to find Zhang and I directly to recognize each other, and then take Zhang and I away. Present, Zhang and I is still stuck on the origin of death. Looking at the 9-dimensional time, only Jian Wushuang can guide Zhang and I on the origin of death. If the other party is allowed to practice simply, it will take at least tens of millions of years to thoroughly comprehend the origin of death. With the help of Jian Wushuang, this time will be greatly reduced. I dare not say that within 100 years, Jian Wushuang is still confident that he can teach Zhang and I to raise the origin of death to the perfect level within 10,000 years. At that time, the fusion of the 3 origins will still require Jian Wushuang's advice. This is a very important link. Jian Wushuang is naturally very concerned. This is Hui Qing's only daughter, and she must be taught well. At the same time, he is also fantasizing in his heart. If Zhang and I and Zhang Shang meet again in the future, which side will Zhang and I choose to stand on? Help her mother to avenge, or choose to forgive Jian Wushuang? If Zhang and I knew that it was her biological father who killed her mother, what will happen? Of course, Hui Qing and Zhang Shang in this world are both regrets. Most of Xianxia's regrets came from the goddess in the ancient moon spacetime. The goddess was Xianxia, and Xianxia was the goddess. Hui Qing's regrets were due to the things left over from the time when she was with the goddess. Chaos. Jian Wushuang got a headache when he thought about it. Now he only has hope on himself. Help Jiang and I rescue Xianxia, and then take the two of them away from this ghost place to the Jieshan continent to reunite with Hui Qing. Then ask the star spirit for help to see if Xianxia's brother can be resurrected. If he asks the giant star spirit for this kind of trivial matter, the other party should agree. Thinking of this, Jian Wushuang nodded with satisfaction. This idea is not bad. After paying off the debt, at that time he can also go to the starry sky to venture for some time. As for the Jieshan continent, he dare not stay. There is no way. What Gagarin said is too scary. If the great Kai King god Jormungandr is a supreme existence, he will definitely destroy himself. He has to slip away quickly. Go to the starry sky. There will be no problem with the god king. While he was thinking about these future things, he had already arrived at the Nine Heavens ancient court. The prosperous scenery above the clouds is fascinating. Only the emperor can ascend here. But because of the appearance of Jiang and I, not only did this rule break. Even the immortal king of the ancient court became Jiang and I. Jiang and I, who became the immortal king, abolished all unnecessary rules and devoted himself to developing the power of the entire ancient domain world. Today's Nine Heavens is no longer a place that belongs to the emperor alone. You can even see many true immortals busy in the Nine Heavens. Hurry up, move faster. Don't be careless when transporting things to the abyss. Yes. An ancient court general directed his men to carry various materials, which seemed to be materials for the formation. Alas! Jian Wushuang had also seen that ancient court general once. It was General Li who had a deep friendship with the son of Jiang. He was depressed at this time, because something big happened in the abyss. The power in the abyss suddenly became extremely violent, and more monsters rushed out, and their strength became stronger and stronger. Now the strong men in the abyss have all moved away. The entire abyss has become a real demon kiln. The tens of millions of miles around the entrance of the abyss are occupied by monsters. Fortunately, monsters need to survive around the abyss, otherwise the entire ancient domain world may be over. And this time even Jiang and I can't do anything. In the end, the formation must be used to seal the surroundings, so I can only cover this thunder first. Jian Wushuang walked through the crowd. He could see others, but others could not see him. Is there a problem in the abyss? He frowned slightly, and he had completely forgotten the world of the abyss. Before leaving, let's take a look. He has always been curious about the abyss. When he was in the middle time and space, he also explored the abyss and found a shocking secret at the bottom. But now, for him, that secret is nothing. But the abyss of the ancient domain world may have something to do with the God Eye clan. It's just that Heiqiu didn't mention it. His attention has always been on that universe-level secret realm, so he didn't pay much attention. Now that he heard it, it reminded him that maybe he could find some valuable information after entering the abyss. He walked and thought. His speed was not fast. He walked slowly to the Tianjing Hall of the ancient court. This is where the immortal king is in charge of the ancient court. But Jiang and I is not here. Instead, it is managed by Yuanzheng Tianzuan. Now everything is based on strength. The trivial matters of the ancient court are handed over to Yuanzheng Tianzuan and Long Gong. Emperors like Sankai and Baiyue were all in seclusion for cultivation. Not to mention Jiang and I. Jiang and I was chosen as the immortal king because he was the strongest and set a benchmark for the cultivators in the ancient world. Other things are not involved. For example, Jiang and I has never intervened in the daily trivialities. She has been hiding in the back sea of the ninth heaven to practice. Deep in the ninth heaven is a purple sea of clouds. It is also called the back sea. The emperors of the ancient court all have caves here. Jiang and I is the same. After all, the origin here is the most concentrated. It is the core of the entire ancient world. Deep in the back sea, there stands a 6-story attic. The top floor is ventilated on all sides, and there is a carpet in the middle. At this time, on the carpet, a peerless magic sword is lying flat. Next to the magic sword, there is a woman in green sitting cross-legged. She closed her eyes, but there was a strong murderous intent between her eyebrows. The murderous aura made her look extremely sharp, so that others dared not approach. She is also the strongest existence in the ancient court and even the ancient domain, Zhang and I with the ultimate combat power. A sword can split the ancient world. This is her unique place for practice, and no one will come to disturb her normally, unless the entire ancient domain is in a life-and-death crisis. At this time, a young man in black stood in the corridor of the attic and looked up at Zhang and I, who was practicing cross-legged inside. The other party did not notice him. He was not in a hurry to wake him up. Instead, he used a telekinesis to enter Zhang Ni's sea of consciousness. Wow! Oh, I have touched the truth of death. Jian Wushuang was a little surprised. After seeing Zhang and I practicing, he was not in a hurry, so he thought about entering the other party's sea of consciousness with telekinesis to see how his practice was going. As a result, after entering, he found that Zhang Ni's thoughts were all about comprehending the truth of death. This is the law of the origin of death. Although he has not yet comprehended it thoroughly, he has only touched the truth of death. But this is considered an entry. I am afraid that the speed of comprehending it later will be faster. Previously, it was speculated that Zhang and I would need tens of millions of years. Now it seems that even if he does not teach, Zhang and I will not take tens of millions of years. At most, he may master the complete origin of death in 100,000 years. Death is the death of the body. It is also the beginning of your transcendence of time, Jian Wushuang said leisurely, but Zhang Ni's whole body trembled. The truth of death that was still being comprehended was suddenly full of inspiration. From touching the entry level to the Hinayana realm, it was almost done in one go. You are teachable. Jian Wushuang withdrew his telekinesis. The deity applauded Zhang and I and said, "You haven't fallen behind in these years." Swish! Zhang and I also opened her eyes instantly. Looking at Jian Wushuang leaning on the handrail of the corridor, her eyes instantly turned red. It's been too long. For her, more than 10,000 years is too long. This occupies 99% of her time, because she was born for only more than 10,000 years. Only the first 100 or 200 years followed Jian Wushuang, and the rest of the time she was alone. Not only did she have to find her trapped mother, she was also worried about Jian Wushuang. She had no information about her mother, so she could only give up temporarily. She never gave up on Jian Wushuang. At the beginning, Jian Wushuang was so powerful that he could easily suppress the top Taoist masters. He would never die in the hands of the two-faced Buddha. Even if the strong men from the Holy Land came, Jian Wushuang should be able to escape. She had always believed it. It was not until she knew the real battle of the two-faced Divine Mountain that she began to be confused. Because Jian Wushuang had never appeared in the two-faced Divine Mountain. But Xianxia and Zhouchen both died because of her. Jian Wushuang disappeared again. She felt completely powerless. This feeling was even more uncomfortable than when she was alone. At least at that time, she always believed that Jian Wushuang was still alive and must be trapped in the formation of the two-faced god's mansion. But as her status continued to rise, even when she became the master of the ancient world, she could not find Jian Wushuang. She also completely put this matter deep in her heart. At this moment, when she saw Jian Wushuang standing in front of her again, in addition to surprise, there was endless grievance in her eyes. She wanted to go to Jian Wushuang like a junior and complain. Why did he leave her alone? She also wanted to ask Jian Wushuang why he didn't save Zhouchen and Xiangyang in the first place. But when the words came to her lips, she couldn't say anything. She just stood up and jumped across the distance between the two sides, gently hugged Jian Wushuang, buried her head in his chest, and tears fell heavily from the corners of her eyes. This time it was Jian Wushuang's turn to be at a loss. He raised his hand, wanting to comfort her, but didn't know where to put it. Until this moment, he realized that his plan was not well thought out for Zhang and I. Because Zhang and I was really young. She had only lived for more than 10,000 years. When Zhang and I was left in the double-faced god's mansion, Jiang and I had only lived for more than 100 years. 90% of the time she was practicing and had no contact with the outside world. It can be said that Jiang Ni's greatest life experience before leaving him was the time when she was the emperor in the mortal world. I didn't think it through, Jian Wushuang comforted. You have suffered a lot over the years. Jiang and I took a deep breath and let go of Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang reached out and wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes and said gently, "You have grown up and become a big girl." Then the two sat down and talked. Seeing Jiang Ni's affectionate and righteous look, Jian Wushuang really didn't want to lie to the other party. So he shortened his original idea and used a clever way to tell Jiang and I his good intentions. Of course, the fact that Xianxia and Juchen were saved by him was also made up later. It has absolutely nothing to do with him. Jiang and I naturally believed it without a doubt. When asked why Jian Wushuang left, Jian Wushuang sighed. He looked into the distance. "Uncle Wushuang, did you go to the abyss?" Jiang Ni's little head flashed with inspiration. He associated Jian Wushuang's sudden appearance with the recent eruption of the abyss. "How should I put it?" Jian Wushuang sighed with a deep face. "The abyss cannot be without me, just like the ancient world can't be without you." Jiang Ni's eyes were full of admiration. She always felt that Jian Wushuang's strength was more than that of the emperor. As a result, after the king returned this time, it was just as she thought. Jian Wushuang not only came back, and his strength was beyond her imagination. One sentence could make her death origin reach the realm of the Hinayana. Even the abyss was caused by Jian Wushuang. This is the unfathomable Uncle Wushuang in her heart. So many things have happened over the years. You have grown up and become mature, and I have also experienced a lot. This time I came, I just want to take you away. Jian Wushuang also took the opportunity to express his plan. That is to take Jiang and I away from the ancient domain world. Of course, it's not just Jiang and I that he takes away. He also takes the entire ancient domain star. But the whole explanation is a bit troublesome. He borrowed the matter of the abyss and said that he learned from the abyss that the ancient domain star is a treasure. Can be used as a domain flying boat. 1 day to travel through the world, 100 years to travel through the universe. He is going to drive the ancient domain star to take Jiang and I away from the ancient domain world. After hearing this, Jiang and I must not be surprised, but said calmly, "No wonder a barrier suddenly appeared in the cellar. Turns out that all this was done by Uncle Wushuang. Then I am relieved. It's just a small matter. It's not worth mentioning. This is all the stuff on the ancient domain star." Jian Wushuang looked indifferent. There are indeed not many things that can be used on the ancient domain star. However, as a divine weapon, the ancient domain star has good development value in the future. But it is not yet to the point where Jian Wushuang deserves attention. He has the leaves of the world tree, the ash can, and countless microcosmic universes. Once he becomes the master of the universe, he can easily recover to the peak by devouring those microcosmic universes. Although he still cannot reach the God of the universe directly, relying on the origin of the microcosmic universe, he can have more powerful divine power than before, even surpassing the combat power of the God of the universe. These are the treasures that Jian Wushuang pays attention to and can rely on. The ancient domain star is indeed nothing. Before I came, I had already solved the internal problems of the ancient domain star. Now Xiangyang and Zhouchun are still trying to merge, and it is estimated that they will soon be done. We should also leave. Jian Wushuang turned his head, stood in the sky, and looked at the endless chaos. "I see that you have a causal connection with many people here. Do you want to say goodbye to them?" Jiang and I calmed down from the excitement, and only then did he remember that he was now responsible for a lot of things. However, the hidden danger of the ancient domain star has been solved by Jian Wushuang. Then there is nothing to bear. "Uncle Wushuang, wait for me for a moment." After Jiang and I finished speaking, her figure flashed and disappeared in the attic. She went to the ancient court temple. She found Yuanjing Tianzuan and Long Gong. At the same time, she notified the Baiwei Immortal King. As for the 3 talents true man, he has fallen. Because of the black prisoner, he fell in the cellar. Jiang and I, Have you made a breakthrough? Yuanjing Tianzuan seemed very excited, because Jiang and I would not come to them without important things. And he called everyone together. Jiang and I shook his head and told her story in detail. There is basically nothing to cover up. The person who was waiting has arrived, and he is going to take Gaiuxing away from the Guyu world. After hearing her explanation, everyone was a little bit unable to accept it for a while. At first, they felt a lot more relaxed, but they felt a little unwilling. There are so many treasures on Gaiuxing, why should people take them away? These are the treasures of Gaiuxing. In addition, these are all one-sided words from Jiang and I. Who knows if Jiang and I wants to get rid of them, or if there is any other conspiracy. Even if Long Gong doesn't think so, Baiwei Immortal King and Yuanjing Tianzuan feel a little uncomfortable in their hearts. But there is no way. Jiang Ni's strength is too strong. They have no ability to resist. Seeing this, Jiang and I waved his hand and took out all his treasures directly, including the treasures given by Gu Ting. These things are a compensation. Jiang and I was also a little reluctant, but Jian Wushuang said that he would take Gaiuxing away. Who can stop it? Duke Long looked at Jiang Ni's clear eyes and said with relief, "No need to be like this. This ancient domain star does not belong to a certain cultivator, nor does it belong to cultivators from a certain world, but to the strong. You can take it away, but you have to promise me that you will not forget that you are a strong man from the ancient domain world." Jiang and I was also shocked and sad after hearing this. In the end, the three decided to let all the cultivators leave the ancient domain star within one day. They themselves were the same. At this time, Jian Wushuang sent a message to Jiang and I, telling him that he didn't need to let Long Gong and others move, because what he wanted was the ancient domain star, not the things on the surface of the ancient domain star. Just like that, in the shocked expressions of everyone, Jian Wushuang mobilized the ancient domain star, that is, the cellar under the ancient domain star, and left the ancient domain star. This is a black metal sphere with a diameter only half the size of the ancient domain star. Can be big or small. In order to save the internal divine power, Jian Wushuang shrunk the ancient domain star to a size of 10,000 miles. "We should go." Jian Wushuang waved his hand. Jiang and I did not hesitate, and his figure jumped onto the ancient domain star. Looking back at the ruins of the ancient domain star, there was only an extra hole which was actually not much different from the past. "Don't worry, I will give them a huge compensation," Jian Wushuang comforted. With a flick of his hand, a microcosm entered the deep pit left after the ancient domain star left. This microcosm is enough to give birth to several universe masters in the ancient world. But it is hard to say who can control this ultimate perfect microcosm. The ancient star is black, with a smooth surface and flashing black light. With the flash of divine power, it disappeared in an instant. The people who stayed in Jutian, such as Long Gong, were a little lonely. Just when they wanted to discuss the future, they felt a gift from the origin of the universe. That power was under their feet. What is this? The abyss. The ancient star shrank to the size of a dust and descended into the abyss. The monsters around could not detect the arrival of the ancient star at all. Jian Wushuang also relied on the ancient star to go down all the way and entered the deepest part of the abyss. Swish! Jian Wushuang appeared at the bottom of the abyss. The power here is extremely violent, and Jian Wushuang had to reveal his body. "Where is this?" "It's a battlefield." A voice sounded in Jian Wushuang's mind. "Gagarin, do you know this place?" Jian Wushuang asked in surprise. Gagarin's consciousness was attached to him, and what he could see, Gagarin could also see. Although the other party only had a broken arm, he had complete memories. He, Gagarin sneered and said, "This is a battlefield left behind when I broke through the realm god continent. If I remember correctly, there were cosmic gods from the God Eye clan on this battlefield, and there were quite a few of them. So, these corpses are also cosmic gods?" Jian Wushuang stepped on the bones, but did not notice the breath of cosmic gods on them. It always felt like a pile of dry bones. Almost most of them are cosmic gods. I was divided into thousands in that battle and only stayed in this battlefield for a breath, but I remember that I killed thousands of cosmic gods on this battlefield. Their fall was like the collapse of the sun. That scene was wonderful, Gagarin said with an intoxicated look on his face. Jian Wushuang said unhappily, even if they know you're a villain, there's no need to be so perverted. You don't understand. Those gods I clan universe gods were all abandoned by Starry Sky. The ones who dominated all this were those old guys in Starry Sky. In fact, they could have let the gods I clan enter Starry Sky and let the star spirits guard the realm god continent directly. Maybe the god king was afraid of Jormungandr, so he didn't let the star spirits take action directly, so that when I entered the realm god continent, it was a feast for the gluttons. Do you see these dry bones? The reason why there is no breath is because they have been swallowed up. The little things left are the most useless space-time materials, just a piece of scorched earth. Jian Wushuang remained silent. They are also a group of pitiful people, not proud of their victory, not humiliated by their defeat. You are right, Gagarin said calmly. He knew that Jian Wushuang's senior brother was the Ghost Eye, the patriarch of the God Eye clan, and Jian Wushuang must be in the same group with the God Eye clan. It would be very heartbreaking to say so. Since it is a battlefield, there is no need to explore it. Jian Wushuang shook his head, waved his hand to release the mortal fire, and destroyed these dry bones. It can be regarded as a beginning and an end. Gagarin continued, there is actually some useful information. Since this battlefield is here, the other battlefields must not be far away. Although I killed a lot of the God Eye clan at the beginning, some of them were suppressed by me. It is estimated that they are somewhere in the Jufang spacetime. You can search slowly. The speed of the ancient domain star is not slow. If you can find a demigod to control it, it will be faster. It won't take long to go around the Jufang spacetime. Only billions of years. Jian Wushuang said indifferently. Swish. He entered the ancient domain star again. The ancient domain star also rushed out of the abyss. With continuous shining, the ancient domain star broke the space and entered the void. It began to fly at high speed. In fact, the speed is just like that, and it is definitely not as good as the Lord of the Universe. There is no way that the divine power of the Universe God can carry this ancient domain star. In addition, no one can really control it. The speed is less than 1/10,000th of the original. But for Jian Wushuang now, it is very fast. In one day, they arrived at the Golden Horn God realm, closest to the ancient domain world. This is a big world. There are many emperors. Moreover, the foundation of the Taoism has a history of hundreds of millions of years, and the Lord of the Universe has appeared. Therefore, the foundation is strong, and there are thousands of emperors. There is also an extremely powerful person. Jian Wushuang just let Heiqiu take a look and left directly. Their first destination is the secret realm of the universe. The giant snake secret realm, far away from the Nash universe, is between the 16 universes. The range is very wide. There is no way to investigate the years of existence. Even Heiqiu doesn't know when this secret realm of the universe appeared. It is only known that there is a treasure in this secret realm that makes the Lord of the Universe crazy. Because once in this secret realm of the universe, a semi-artifact flowed out. It was obtained by a very lucky Lord of the Universe in the Six Tribulations realm. From then on, he rose all the way and soon became the God of the Universe in the Nine Tribulations realm. At this time, he revealed that the treasure, it was not a semi-artifact, but an artifact. And it was also a space treasure. With this treasure, the Lord of the Universe traveled across the entire Jufang spacetime. Not long after, he felt that he had lost consciousness, went to cross the Universe Sea, and left the Jufang spacetime. There was no news afterwards. But this rumor made the giant snake secret realm a holy place in the seventh spacetime. Countless universe masters entered this universe secret realm one after another. Even many strong men from other time and space entered this place to take risks. How long does it take to go to the giant snake secret realm? It will take about 400 universes, and a conservative estimate is 50,000 years. After hearing the black prisoner's speculation, Jian Wushuang took a deep breath. This is still because of the ancient domain star. If it is a domain flying boat, it may take tens of millions of years to fly. Fly slowly. Anyway, there is a goal and the combat power. Everything is not in a hurry. After passing through many universes, he will also stop to buy some treasures. He can't use some things in the Dongtian sect, so he exchanged a lot of divine crystals to buy some things for him in various universes. For example, the plan to cultivate the magic cloud tree. Master, the source power I need to overcome the fourth calamity is about a complete universe, and the divine power requirement is about 30 million. This is the most conservative plan. If you want to improve the level of life to the top perfect plan, the treasures required will be 100 times more. Jian Wushuang heard this answer and rubbed his eyebrows. At this time, the interior of the ancient domain star has no desolate scene. Instead, it was made into a sunny fairyland by Jian Wushuang. Seeing this fairyland, Gagarin felt a little scary. Because he was born in a disordered place, he couldn't stand the beauty of order. Jian Wushuang enjoyed this kind of place so much that he didn't even enter the 9 prison tower. Now the 9 prison tower is placed inside the ancient domain star. Because Jiang and I often goes in and out, Jian Wushuang directly placed the 9 prison tower inside the ancient domain star. Anyone can go in and out. I spent less than 100 million divine crystals to build this fairyland, which can cultivate so many strong people. You need tens of billions of divine crystals just to overcome the fourth calamity. Jian Wushuang couldn't help shaking his head. With so much money, it's better to cultivate Xianxia and Zhouchen. Let these 2 people quickly upgrade to demigods. The consumption of the demon cloud tree is too great. It swallowed more treasures than the black prisoner. The key is that for ordinary universe origins, it is too little. The demon cloud tree also takes the divine power route, and all it needs are divine power treasures. After dozens of universes and thousands of years, I spent all my family property, but I couldn't make the demon cloud tree break through. The key is that, after the breakthrough, the strength growth is not conspicuous. According to the demon cloud number, there will be 18 vines when you reach the 7th tribulation. Only in the 9 tribulations realm will there be 36 vines. But every time you pass the tribulation, each vine will be much stronger than before. Do you only have 36 vines? Jian Wushuang asked curiously. Of course not. The demon cloud tree replied. The theoretical strength of the 9 tribulations realm is 36 vines, and it is possible to increase it further, but the cost is greater than the cost of my breakthrough to the universe god. The main reason is that there are too few leaves in the entire starry sky that use the demon cloud tree leaves and also carry the origin of the leaves. In addition to the master, there are only 10 people, 4 of whom are star spirits, and there are 6 more, 3 of whom are the god of the starry sky, 2 are the god of time and space, and 1 is the god of the universe. Think about it, it is 1,000,000 times the life level. How can ordinary people afford it? Jian Wushuang asked again. The 3 star spirits have cultivated the magic cloud tree to that level. Has it broken through to the starry sky realm? No! The magic cloud tree shook its head and said, according to some information recorded in my innate secret method, after reaching the starry sky realm, it will be a self-contained starry sky realm. At present, in addition to the ancestral tree, only a branch of the ancestral tree was cultivated to the starry sky realm by the high priest. But that tree is a school of its own and has not recognized its master, so it does not count. High priest. Jian Wushuang took a deep breath. This man is also a ruthless person. It is estimated that he is no less ruthless than the Supreme Being. He cultivated it, and it is estimated that he used the power of the entire starry sky to cultivate it. Originally, I still fantasized that when I recovered in the future, I would cultivate the magic cloud tree to the cosmic god realm. At that time, the demon cloud tree could threaten the god of space and time. After hearing the answer from the demon cloud tree, he no longer thought so. Let's improve ourselves first. If the god of the universe is not good enough, then I will slowly cultivate you to the limit of the Lord of the universe. After hearing this, the demon cloud tree said happily, thank you, master. I will continue to comprehend the rules in the innate secret method and strive to comprehend the cultivation plan to increase the number of main vines as soon as possible. Yes. Jian Wushuang took a deep breath and nodded. Cultivated to the limit of the Lord of the universe, the Moyun vine may not be weaker than the 7-star universe god. I don't know if there is a 7-star universe god in the heavens. When he came in, he was still at his peak. At that time, he didn't notice any behemoths. For example, the 9-star universe god. But after all these years of experience here, he felt that the heavens might still hide the super-existence of the God's Eye clan. At that time, those monsters had the combat power of the 7-star universe god. Don't be careless. Before he mastered the origin, or before he recovered to his peak. The current first combat power still needs the demon cloud tree. Then the black prisoner. In order, Juchen and Xianxia can also quickly become demigods. In fact, in terms of talent and growth potential apart from the demon cloud tree, it is probably Zhang and I. But Zhang and I needs more time to grow. After the fusion, he still needs to cultivate the fused origin. Unlike Juchen and Xianxia, they can directly eat the origin. After all, these two have too much experience. The realm is also high, so they can directly eat the origin to reach the peak, and then directly control the universe without the need to pass the tribulation. But Zhang and I is a little guy who has only lived for more than 10,000 years. You can't force it. That will waste talent. In fact, Zhang Ni's cultivation speed is not bad. It has only been a few thousand years, and he has already raised the death origin to the Mahayana realm. Although there is time acceleration, it has been tens of thousands of years. But it has also exceeded Jian Wushuang's expectations. Now Zhang and I is just short of raising the origin to perfection. Then start preparing for the fusion. Speaking of the fusion, Xianxia and Juchen have been silent. Jian Wushuang can only realize that the two have reached a critical moment. Naturally, he will not disturb them. Just wait. Waiting for the success of the two. Time passed day by day. Gaiuxing finally approached the secret realm of the universe. From a distance, the secret realm was a huge empty land. There were 8 sacred mountains floating on it. The sacred mountains were rootless and floated above the continent. There were dozens of planets around each sacred mountain. How long will it take to arrive? Jian Wushuang asked. Heiqiu immediately replied, it will take another 10 days. If you are in a hurry, I can teleport with Gaiuxing. No need. Jian Wushuang suddenly turned his head and looked at the 9 prisons tower. 2 figures walked out of the 9 prisons tower at the same time. Xianxia and Juchen. The 2 of them succeeded in merging with the Tao at the same time, and they have been promoted to the peak of perfection. You 2 finally succeeded. I thought you were going to fail. Jian Wushuang smiled bitterly. Xianxia seemed very excited. Brother Wushuang, I missed you so much during these years. As he said that, he was about to give Jian Wushuang a hug. Jian Wushuang quickly dodged and said unhappily, are you thinking about me or my microcosm? Of course, it's the microcosm. Juchen spoke as self-centeredly as always. At this moment, he raised his eyebrows and said proudly, Jian Wushuang, I now have the combat power of the tribulation realm. Didn't you say before that you wanted us to help you suppress the Divine Eye clan? How have you been looking for it outside these years? Have you found it? Let me practice. Jian Wushuang hooked his hand, and the Luan in the 9 prisons tower flew out. Well, try your hand with him. Juchen was a little disdainful and sneered. Him? He is not worthy. Before the Luan could react, he heard Juchen's ruthless ridicule. At this time, he realized that this guy had actually reached the pinnacle level. And the Divine Eye secret method has also been cultivated to the 3rd turn. 10,000 origins, plus the 3rd turn of the Divine Eye secret method. Juchen accumulated power, and his divine power suddenly soared to 100,000 times. Oh, it's really much stronger. Between Jian Wushuang's arms, a blood-colored vine suddenly burst out and rushed towards Juchen's huge divine body. A vine already has 1,000,000 divine powers. Just a fight instantly cleared Juchen's divine power. The divine body was also shattered. But the next moment, a magical scene happened. The long vine actually fed back to Juchen 100,000 times of divine power and a complete divine body. This? Juchen was full of surprise, but he got ridicule from Xianxia. With your little strength, Don't embarrass yourself in front of Brother Wushuang. Think about how to break through the calamity realm. Xianxia sneered. He knew Jian Wushuang's methods. At the beginning, he prepared so many backups in the mortal stage. Now tens of thousands of years have passed, and in the years since he became a cultivator, Jian Wushuang must have prepared more backups. After all, he is a cosmic god. The nine-worry true god has fallen for so long, and he is still planning to revive. Not to mention Jian Wushuang, who has not fallen. Moreover, Jian Wushuang was even more powerful when he was the god of the universe. In the entire ancient god realm, there was no god of the universe as powerful as Jian Wushuang. Only in the core area of the Tomb Godland, there might be god of the universe with more than 7 stars. You are still far behind in strength. You can't help me at the moment. If you feel itchy, you can come to me for a competition. Jian Wushuang put away the long vine and continued. By the way, Xianxia, do you have any bottlenecks in becoming the Lord of the Universe? No. Xianxia shook his head. Upon hearing this, Jian Wushuang took out the ash jar and took out a speck of dust from it in front of everyone. Microcosmic universe. Buzz. The strong breath of the origin shocked everyone. This is an ultimate perfect universe. You should refine it carefully. After mastering it, you can leap to the 5 tribulations realm. In the future, you will need to constantly control the power inside until you have complete control. Your divine power can be comparable to that of the god of the universe. Juchen widened his eyes after hearing Jian Wushuang's explanation. Comparable to that of the god of the universe? This was something he didn't even dare to think about. Jian Wushuang actually said it so casually. Well, about the same. This universe can burst out a power close to 100 million divine powers. Jian Wushuang said calmly. Xianxia was very happy and not surprised at all, because Jian Wushuang had explained this to him a long time ago. He was happy that he would be able to return to his peak soon, and it will surpass the peak. This time entering this big world is really a great opportunity for him. Touching the power of the cosmic god at the fastest speed. 100 million divine powers. This is already the level of an ordinary cosmic god. He was only a demigod in the outside world, and not even the most powerful demigod. Now, in just tens of thousands of years, he can grow to this point. It is really a great opportunity. In addition, his biggest gain is Jian Wushuang's network. He has a life-and-death friendship with Jian Wushuang. When he leaves here and returns to the Jeshan continent in the future, he will have the cosmic god as his backer. And it is a 7-star cosmic god. After going out, won't he be able to walk sideways? Does he still need to look at the face of the family? Obviously not. But he doesn't know that the family is gone. Practice well. With your realm and experience, I believe you will be able to master this universe soon. Jian Wushuang patted Xianxia on the shoulder, then looked at Juchen and said, You have experience, but your realm is not good enough. Break through to the calamity realm first. Then I will give you a microcosmic universe. The Lord of Divine Fire took a microcosmic universe and left the mortal world. The next time you meet, I'm afraid he will be shocked. Juchen had a fighting spirit in his eyes when he heard Jian Wushuang talking about the Lord of Divine Fire. Compare with the former creator to see who has made faster progress. Xianxia and Juchen exchanged glances. The two who had just come out of retreat turned around and entered the 9 prison tower again. At this time, Jiang and I had just walked out of the 9 prison tower and just met the two of them. Before he could say a word, he saw the two of them entering the 9 prison tower together. What's going on? Jiang and I asked in surprise. Did they succeed in merging with the Tao? How did they go in again? Jian Wushuang smiled faintly. Maybe their realm is not stable enough. But their aura is so strong, almost the same as mine. Jiang and I exclaimed in surprise. You are still only a Tao Lord, but they are both at the peak. Jian Wushuang smiled. But you can't be careless. They both have great fortunes in the future. As a young man, you should follow their footsteps and strive to merge with the Tao as soon as possible. Yes, I will. Jiang and I nodded and then said, Uncle Wushuang, my Tao of Death has reached the peak of Mahayana. And now I am only one step away from complete perfection. Jian Wushuang. Zhang Ni's cultivation speed is too fast. Step by step, he surpassed Jian Wushuang's calculations. I thought it would take tens of millions of years, but later, with his guidance, it was shortened a lot. But I didn't expect it to be shortened so much. It's only been a few thousand years. And Zhang Ni's Tao of Death is only one step away from perfection. I'm afraid it's not far from the edge of merging with the Tao. Tell me about your dilemma. Jian Wushuang began to guide Zhang Ni's confusion on the Tao of Death, until the ancient domain star reached the 8th mountain of the universe secret realm. Master, we are here. He Qiu's respectful voice came. Jian Wushuang also sent Zhang and I, who was in enlightenment, into the 9 prisons tower, and then turned around and looked at the 8th mountain in the universe secret realm through the sky. This is a sacred mountain that gathers forests and seas. The origin breath contained is extremely strong, no less than the core of the origin of the universe, and even the surrounding stars show a good style. He Qiu, explore the void here, Jian Wushuang ordered. Although his telekinesis covers a wide range, its penetration is not good. It is still not as good as a void cultivator like He Qiu. Master, don't worry. If there is a hair left by any of the God Eye clan, I can smell it. He Qiu was very confident. Jian Wushuang sighed in his heart and wanted to tell He Qiu that the God Eye clan had no hair. There were many powerful auras on the surface of the God Mountain, including the aura of the Supreme Master of the universe. After all, this is a universe-level secret realm, so it is normal for the Master of the universe to appear. Moreover, the opponent's strength is not very strong, just a Master of the universe in the 5 tribulations realm. He Qiu entered the starry sky and began to explore the inside and outside of the God Mountain. It was very easy at the beginning, but it became a little reluctant later. What's wrong? Jian Wushuang saw that he looked reluctant, as if he was under some kind of pressure. He Qiu held his breath and said word by word, Master, this God Mountain seems to have an owner. Ha! Jian Wushuang frowned. He didn't know about this situation, and immediately used his telekinesis to explore again. On the surface of the God Mountain, he only sensed the Master of the universe in the 5 tribulations realm, and there was no stronger aura. Now He Qiu has almost recovered to his peak. Even if a universe master controlled the sacred mountain, it wouldn't make He Qiu feel so oppressive. Impossible, there is only one universe master in the sacred mountain, and there is no breath of other strong men, and the strength of the universe master is very weak. He was halfway through his words when he suddenly realized something was wrong. It was the universe master in the 5 tribulations realm who was wrong. It seems that there is indeed a problem here. Jian Wushuang's mouth moved, revealing a faint smile. He was not afraid of problems, but afraid of no problems. If this place is like dead water, then it would be a waste of time. The connection between these sacred mountains made Jian Wushuang realize some things. He Qiu, do you think this universe secret realm looks like a big formation? He Qiu was stunned when he heard this, and said in surprise, How is it possible? A universe secret realm is used as a big formation. Such a big hand can be done by at least a demigod or a universe god. You are right. It really could be a universe god. What? He Qiu widened his eyes. Jian Wushuang was very calm. He took He Qiu and appeared directly on the ocean of the sacred mountain and took the ancient domain star into his body. A black battle suit also appeared on his body. Although his physical body was very strong, he couldn't stand up to the God of the universe. The attack of the God of the universe had to be resisted by the divine body. A pure physical body, no matter how strong it was, would be broken in an instant. Although the physical body of the world beast was very dense and would not be destroyed by the God of the universe, Jian Wushuang couldn't stand it. If he simply relied on his physical body to resist, who would he go to for justice if he was killed by the opponent in one move? Just in case, he still let the magic cloud tree cover the surface of his body. Go and have a look. He took the black prisoner and flew towards the strange Lord of the universe. The reason why he thought the Lord of the universe was strange was that the Lord of the universe was very similar to the monks after the sacrifice ceremony. One person and one egg extremely fast. The place where the Lord of the Universe was hiding was on a deserted island. At this moment, the distance was very close. At this moment, Jian Wushuang frowned and shouted, "Go over at full speed. He wants to escape." Yes. The speed of the black prisoner suddenly increased, and he left Jian Wushuang in an instant. This was also what made Jian Wushuang helpless. His speed was too slow. Even with the help of the demon cloud tree, it was still very slow. Chasing a universe master in the Five Tribulations realm was troublesome. "Ma Yun, you go after him too." "But if I go, what will happen to the master?" the demon cloud tree said with some concern. "I will enter the ancient domain star. You don't have to worry about me." Jian Wushuang was still worried that the black prisoner could not handle it alone. The Lord of the Universe wanted to escape before he even saw him. There must be something wrong. As long as he was caught, we could find out what was going on inside the sacred mountain. Jian Wushuang followed behind and started the fastest speed of the ancient domain star. He rushed straight into the sky. "You can't run away." Black prisoner was at the front and threatened, "You'd better stop, otherwise after I catch you, you will regret not stopping now." Black prisoner was not threatening the other party, because he really knew how to torture people. He was tortured by the true god Joyo for so many years, and he had nowhere to vent his anger. If he caught this Lord of the Universe in the Five Tribulations realm, he would definitely make him despair. He has the ability and strength. He also has the patience. It's normal that he has been trapped for so many years and has personality problems. Black prisoner merged with the void and his speed soared 100 times. I don't know what treasure the Lord of the Universe in the Five Tribulations realm used, but his speed was actually as fast as that of a demigod. So much so that black prisoner couldn't catch up with him for a while. Jian Wushuang saw it clearly from behind and reminded, "Black prisoner, block the space, slow down the speed of dragging him. I will chase him." After saying that, he appeared again. He didn't care about the ancient domain star and used the demon cloud tree directly. 9 thick vines rushed out in an instant. Black prisoner didn't refute anything and directly blocked the void. Freeze the space together. For a moment, everything around slowed down. Even black prisoner slowed down. Jian Wushuang was the same, but the demon cloud tree was different. The demon cloud tree corresponds to the starry sky. The starry sky was opened up because of this tree, although it sounds a bit exaggerated. But the demon cloud tree is the most powerful life in the starry sky. It also has this qualification. Otherwise, why can't it be opened up in other places? Is the God King's ability not enough? Obviously not. There must be some secret in the demon cloud tree that is just unknown. Jian Wushuang used the demon cloud tree, and the space could not stop it. In an instant, he caught the Lord of the Universe in the Five Tribulations realm. "Now you have nowhere to run," Jian Wushuang sneered. Black prisoner also caught up at this time, and said in a strange tone, "Little thing, you are done." He was not threatening the other party. Jian Wushuang casually threw the Lord of the Universe in the Five Tribulations realm into the ancient domain star, raised his head and scanned the entire God Mountain, and found nothing unusual. "Let's go into the ancient domain star to ask. I always feel that there is something wrong with the God Mountain. Let's leave here first." "Don't worry, Master. I am here and the God Mountain can't threaten us." But as soon as he finished speaking, the God Mountain began to shake. Ha! A terrifying existence suddenly appeared in Jian Wushuang's telekinetic perception. The other party's telekinetic power was not inferior to his, at least at the level of the universe god. The existence was shaking. It seemed to appear at any time. Jian Wushuang's face was livid. He didn't expect that he would provoke the existence behind the other party without asking anything. "He seems to be tied up," black prisoner said in surprise. "Fortunately, he can't get out. The breath gives me the feeling that it is much stronger than the 9 worries true god. Let's go." Jian Wushuang didn't dare to stay any longer. His telekinesis is indeed very powerful, deep in the universe. But his strength is not that of a cosmic god. If the guy in the sacred mountain is a cosmic god and has the power of a cosmic god, it would be difficult for them to escape. Taking the ancient domain star, they shuttled directly through the void. After leaving the God Mountain, they walked a long way towards the depths of the universe's secret realm before they breathed a sigh of relief. Bring that guy up. Jian Wushuang sat on the top of the hall and took a sip of tea. The telekinesis in his eyes pointed directly at the dull-eyed Lord of the Universe. A mouthful of tea sprayed out directly. Be careful. He is the incarnation of the God of the Universe. As soon as he finished speaking, the vines around him separated, pulling the black prisoner away while trying to restrain him. Boom! The figure suddenly exploded. The upper limit of power was infinitely close to the level of the God of the Universe. But it was always trying to surpass that limit. And it was just a simple explosion, not a move. Soon the power began to decline. Jian Wushuang also calmed down. Let go of the black prisoner. Using the Moyun vine to restrain the other party, he found that the other party's power was constantly weakening. Ha! At this moment, the ancient domain star was flying very fast and was leaving the giant snake secret realm at full speed. Soon, the 8 sacred mountains surrounding the secret realm could no longer be seen. The guy who was bound was also getting weaker and weaker. Just as he guessed, the farther the distance, the weaker the opponent's strength. The sudden outburst just now was just an attempt to struggle. Unfortunately, this is the ancient domain star. With a strong restraining force, Jian Wushuang can suppress the opponent with this restraining force. In addition, the 9 vines of the Moyun vine have a strength of more than 10 million, which is enough to suppress the opponent. In just 1 stick of incense, the opponent's strength has reached the critical point. Ordinary calamity level. This should be the opponent's bottom line. Jian Wushuang also released the restraints. Only then did the black prisoner dare to breathe heavily. Humph! A small calamity level. Dare to attack my master. I will kill you. As he said that, he was about to go up and strengthen the opponent. Jian Wushuang rubbed his eyebrows and said lazily, Okay. Let him stand up and talk. The black prisoner then let go. The vines were completely retracted. On the ground, a curled-up middle-aged man slowly climbed up. He has a pair of eyes just like humans. Who are you? Why do you want to imprison me? Jian Wushuang raised his hand and took out a small tower, saying, Do you know this? He didn't want to waste time talking to the other party. The 9 prisons tower has sounded the alarm. The other party is the God Eye clan. Although they don't look like them, they have the power of the God Eye clan. They can also suppress them. What is this? The middle-aged man looked haggard. He was stunned when he saw the 9 prisons tower, and then he felt the power radiating from above, and his whole body became unnatural. That power made him disgusted from the bottom of his heart. It was a power that wanted to suppress his nature. Still not talking? Jian Wushuang frowned slightly. He was so open and aboveboard. He revealed his trump card right away. As a result, the other party played dumb for him. It seems that he has to increase his strength. Black prisoner. Give him a hint. Yes. Black prisoner showed an evil smile on his round face and slowly walked towards the other party. There was also a small black wooden stick in his hand. This thing is a rare treasure nurtured by heaven and earth, a treasure of the universe. It was more than enough to deal with a person in the calamity realm, but the main thing was to make the other party say what Jian Wushuang wanted to hear. Sir, wait. I can feel that you have no intention of killing me, and I would also like to remind you that you'd better throw away the treasure in your hand. What do you mean? Jian Wushuang raised his eyes and said, You should know my identity? I know. Jian Wushuang nodded. The other party was relieved. Did you get the thing from the starry sky? You know everything about the starry sky? Jian Wushuang's eyes lit up. The other party was not a country bumpkin. He was probably a strong man of the God Eye clan who survived before the destruction of the God Eye clan. And he knew a lot of things. Maybe he knew more strong men of the God Eye clan. For example, what was hidden in the big formation in the giant snake secret realm. Of course I know the starry sky. That was my former home. You know the starry sky, so you must be from the starry sky too. But he couldn't tell what Jian Wushuang's aura was, because it was invisible, formless, and colorless. He looked just like an ordinary mortal who was relatively handsome. Jian Wushuang played with the teacup in his hand and said, "What's your name?" "Chao Wuxing." "What about you?" "Jian Wushuang." The two nodded and gestured. They looked at each other. As for what they were thinking, it was unclear. Jian Wushuang snapped his fingers, and the two of them and the egg went directly to a loft on the top of the mountain. The two sat opposite each other. "I'll be honest. I captured you just to find out what's under the sacred mountain and to target your God Eye clan. Anyway, the other party is in his hands, and he can throw him into the 9 Prisons Tower at any time to open the higher levels of the 9 Prisons Tower. And he has a hunch that as long as he captures the God Eye clan strongman under the sacred mountain, he can even pass through and open the 9th level directly. At that time, it will not be mastering the origin of the king, and he can even explore higher levels of the origin. So he changed his routine this time. Don't be anxious, try to talk to the other party." After hearing Jian Wushuang's words, Chao Wuxing widened his eyes and then sneered. "Ha! Young man, you are too arrogant. Although I can't see your identity, I can be sure that you are immortal. You only caught me with that plant life and this egg, and I am just a weak one among the many strong men of the God Eye clan. Do you want to deal with the entire God Eye clan? Become a cosmic god first." Cosmic god? He is indeed not a cosmic god now. Even if he recovered all his fighting power, he was not a cosmic god. He was just a cosmic master of the 9 Tribulations realm, who happened to get a little chance and possessed the fighting power of a 9-star cosmic god. If he dealt with the peak God Eye clan, it would be a bit troublesome. "It's just a downtrodden tribe, I don't care." Jian Wushuang was also crazy for once. From the current perspective, the God Eye clan is a half-dead tribe. If Weiss is not mentioned, the Wanlu is thrown in. These God Eye clan will not revive. His rampantness made Chao Wuxing look stunned, with a playful smile on his lips, and said, "Young man, I'm really curious. What is your background? The power of the God Eye clan is not what you can imagine. You can kill me, but don't think about the rest." "Decisive enough." Jian Wushuang nodded. "I wanted to let the other party say something on his own initiative. Now it seems that it is better to let the other party go in directly. After entering, meet with my fellow villagers." Swish! The 9 Prison Tower appeared and went directly towards Chao Wuxing to suppress him. Buzz! The powerful attraction instantly sucked the other party in. He followed him in. This time the 4th floor could be opened. No. He still hadn't figured out Chao Wuxing's power. Now, if you enter as the weakest, you can only open the 4th floor. What if you are at the peak strength with a combat power close to 100 million? Stop! He moved his mind and released Chao Wuxing again. "Don't test me. I won't tell you anything. No matter what your purpose is, if you want to target our God Eye clan, I have to advise you that the God Eye clan is stronger than you think. You have this treasure that targets the God Eye clan, and one day it will bring you a fatal disaster." Jian Wushuang certainly didn't care about this threat. He pretended to be angry and said, "It seems that you won't cry until you see the coffin. I have given you a chance. Since you care, then die in my hands." After that, he made a direct move. Relying solely on the flesh without using the Moyun vine, he completely ravaged the other party. Is this the God Eye clan? A calamity realm. Even mortals can be trampled. You God Eye clan, is this all the strength? He used the simplest words to stimulate Chao Wuxing. He wanted the other party to burst out with strength. At the same time, he was slowly approaching the giant snake secret realm. Chao Wuxing wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and laughed. "I don't want to fight you, but you, a mortal, can't control me." After that, his power suddenly increased to the level of the Lord of the Universe. And soon he broke through to the 7 Tribulations realm, and millions of divine powers were completely poured out, breaking Jian Wushuang's body. Fortunately, his body was strong enough, otherwise he would have been killed by the opponent. But he was very happy in his heart. Crazy. The crazier, the higher the benefits will be. Chao Wuxing's power soon reached the previous level of the God of the Universe. Even the ancient domain star could not suppress the opponent. Chao Wuxing was also stunned. He clearly realized that he was far away from the 8th mountain. As a result, he was able to burst out such a powerful force. No, there is something wrong with him. Unfortunately, he reacted too slowly. Jian Wushuang laughed and said, "Thank you. 9 Prison Tower. Suppress. Buzz." With the restraint of Mayun Vine and the suppression of the 9 Prison Tower, Chao Wuxing, who was in an extreme state, was suppressed under the 9 Prison Tower. Great. This is equivalent to suppressing a divine I-clan cultivator at the level of a cosmic god. Jian Wushuang looked excited. Previously, he suppressed a peak cultivator and opened the 3rd floor with the divine I-secret technique. What about this time? How many floors of the 9 Prison Tower can Chao Wuxing, who is infinitely close to 100 million divine powers, open? According to previous speculation, the other party has practiced at least 6 times. This is enough for him to comprehend the origin of the World Beast King. As for whether he can control it, it depends on his ability. Go in and take a look first. He poked his hand and arranged. Black Prisoner, you control the ancient domain star and find a place where no one is. The farther away from the giant snake's secret realm, the better. Yes, Master. Black Prisoner nodded immediately. After making arrangements, Jian Wushuang entered the 9 Prison Tower. Ding! 3 crisp sounds rang out in the tower in succession. The light kept rising. Finally, it stopped at the 6th floor. Sure enough, this Chao Wuxing has the combat power of a cosmic god, and it is normal to have practiced to the 6th level. Old rules. He did not go directly to the 6th floor to see Chao Wuxing. Give the other party enough mystery and curiosity. Leave it alone for now. The most important thing is to comprehend the secret method. The 4th level. A river was born in the wasteland. This is a long river of time. Although it is very weak, it is countless times stronger than the universe on the 3rd level. Gather! Jian Wushuang clenched his hand, and a metal plate appeared in his hand. The pattern on the top looks similar to the 3rd one. But when he pondered deeply, he felt dizzy. The powerful mystery made his mental power expand instantly. Fortunately, his soul power and telekinesis are both super strong. Otherwise, he really couldn't bear it. In the careful comprehension, it seemed that countless years had passed in the long river of time. It seemed like a moment. Ha! Opening his eyes again, Jian Wushuang suddenly wanted to draw a sword. Looking down at his hands, there was no sword. Buzz! The telekinesis automatically condensed sword energy and shot out from the center of his eyebrows. The first picture looks like a newborn baby. The second picture changes the soul, and the third picture changes the power, annihilates everything, and feeds back the source of disorder. Why do I feel that this 4th picture is like? It seems to be something beyond time and space, just like this space. Jian Wushuang has not fully understood it. In disorder, is there time? His eye sockets shrank. If this is true, it is possible to create something from nothing. This requires a lot of time to comprehend. Although he doesn't care about time. But he is not alone. And he is also eager to leave this world and return to the world god continent. There are brothers and friends there. There is also a mission. Let Gagarin accelerate for me. His current acceleration is too slow. It has to be a world beast like this. The acceleration is even more outrageous. With a thought, he directly moved Gagarin to the long river of time and space. After arriving here, Gagarin turned into an evil arm, scooped up invisible water in the long river of time and space, and played with it for a while. In a narrow long river of time and space, countless times are hidden. It seems that the person who built this place is already invincible among the gods of time and space. Hearing Gagarin's speculation, Jian Wushuang was surprised. The god of time and space is invincible? How about you? I am not as good as him at the level of the god of time and space. Gagarin replied truthfully. Jian Wushuang was not too surprised. The 9 Prison Tower is a treasure to suppress the god I clan, so it is naturally extraordinary. Not to mention the god of time and space, even the star god is possible. Jian Wushuang, you sent me here? Are you so kind as to let me recover my strength? Gagarin sneered. He always felt that Jian Wushuang had some ill intentions towards him. Although the two of them are more and more like the same kind now, he is still wary of Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang said straight to the point, "I asked you to come here to ask you for a small favor? Ask me for help?" Gagarin was stunned, and then said in surprise, "You don't want to devour me. You think too much. I want you to help me speed up time. The slower the better without interfering with my telekinesis." Gagarin breathed a sigh of relief and nodded, "Yes, but you also have to agree to one request of mine. I can feel that the 6th floor has also been opened. Can I go to the 6th floor to comprehend it then?" "Yes." Jian Wushuang was also very clear. Buzz. The entire long river of time and space began to collapse and condense. Finally, it turned into a thatched hut. This is the transformation of the long river. In other words, the entire long river of time and space has turned into a thatched hut. The flow rate can be imagined. Slowed down 100 million times. Jian Wushuang was shocked. It must be a world beast. It's really abnormal. He took a deep breath and his mind began to calm down. It took him 100 years to comprehend the 4th metal plate for the first time. This time he didn't care about the time but the result. He would not leave the retreat until he succeeded. For this reason, he also asked Gagarin to help pass the message. He told Xianxia and others. At the same time, he also condensed the subsequent instructions to Jiang and I into a jade slip. It was enough for Jiang and I to reach the semigod level. After doing all this, he began to immerse himself in the comprehending structure diagram. This is the 4th metal plate. It corresponds to the top world beast origin. Listening to Brother Gian's consciousness, he is at this level. The top world beast origin. He doesn't know how powerful each reference object is, but it is almost the same as the star spirit. Going up is the peak world beast origin, which may not be as good as the great priest, but it can definitely suppress the star spirit. Finally, there is the origin of the world beast king, the power of the god king level. The origin of the world tree can actually reach this level, but the power is limited. There is a record in the inheritance of Ma Yun Tung. The greater the power of the divine body, the greater the limited power. For example, a leaf of the world tree is a spacetime. A world tree is a starry sky. The inner world is too big. The power in it all comes from the world tree. Such a huge divine body is troublesome to move, so they are restricted. But the world beasts don't have this worry. Many world beasts don't even open up their inner world. It's too troublesome. Their own strength is not enough and they still divide the strength. It's indeed a bit of a waste, and it's troublesome to maintain. Jian Wushuang is happy to cultivate his inner world, especially the flow rate of time. This is similar to the 4th structural diagram. It is necessary to construct a stable flow rate of time. For example, how to determine the unit of year. Of course, he is still thinking about the problem of time. Stuck in this link. 12 hours a day. How to be stable without a single minute difference. Jian Wushuang studied 10,000 years of time for this problem. The outside world is just a moment. After all, the time is accelerated by 100 million times. 10,000 years. He experimented several times and finally constructed a stable time. The first unit. Take the word time in the time. It is called hour because the hour is only half of the hour. Originally there were 12 hours in a day, but now there are 24 hours in a day. 24 hours remind Jian Wushuang of the 24 solar terms. And this number corresponds to many things. After having a basic direction, he began to develop more units. At first, he wanted to develop a larger time unit. But he found that the larger the time unit, the worse it was. It would be better to discover the time unit of an hour. How much can this unit be divided into? And it must be stable. Then he created the minute. Take the hour and minute. 1 hour, 60 minutes. No more, no less. This unit is extremely stable. But he was still not satisfied. The value was too small. The structure diagram was extremely complex, and the mystery could be divided into billions. 60 might not be enough. Time was flying. For millions of years, Jian Wushuang had been developing hours. From minutes to seconds. 1 minute is divided into 60 seconds. 1 second is divided into 100 milliseconds. He kept dividing it. In 1 hour, he divided it into billions of parts, and then he stopped with satisfaction. He started counting, starting from the smallest unit. 1 second requires millions of times, which tests his telekinesis. He has to keep up with his brain. 1 second, 10 seconds, 1 minute, 10 minutes. 1 hour, time is up. It was only half an hour, but he felt like billions of years had passed. This is the charm of time. As he pondered over it, he also felt the incredible strangeness of time. Now, start developing a larger time unit. 24 hours a day. This unit is too thin. There are stars orbiting his body. A small cycle is 5 days. A big cycle is 7 days. This time unit is more stable. 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week. 1 year, 160 years, 1 era. 1 reincarnation. What about above reincarnation? Jian Wushuang asked himself silently. How many years has he lived? He can't remember clearly. He jumped from one domain to another. The biggest time, let's call it realm. It looks like a unit of space, but it actually contains time. Time and space are self-contained. Jian Wushuang also fell into a kind of emptiness. He has already walked through the structure diagram of the 4th metal plate smoothly. The rest is to absorb it well and change his own origin. This time he will not be stupid enough to annihilate everything. Instead, he will keep the origin and use it first. No matter what, now more strength means more confidence. In the outside world, 1 year, 160 years, 100 years, 1,000 years, 10,000 years later, Jian Wushuang slowly opened his eyes. The disordered power between his breaths had shocked Gagarin outside the house. He walked out of the hut and looked at the long river of time and space surrounding him again. His heart was like a mirror. It was no longer as turbid as before. You succeeded? Gagarin said in surprise. It's only been 10,000 years. It has been accelerated by 100 million times. Only 10,000 eras have passed. Your origin has actually been upgraded to a higher level. You can see all this. Jian Wushuang was in a good mood, because there are not too many bottlenecks. Or to say, there are almost no bottlenecks for him. As long as it takes time to succeed, it is equivalent to no bottleneck for him. His current origin has been upgraded to the 4th level, the origin of the top beast. Even if he is placed in the land of disorder, he is now at the level of a genius. In the future, he will become the god of the starry sky, comparable to the star spirit. It's exciting to think about it. The star spirit. At the beginning, I saw the star spirit with a wave of his hand, and he could change everything. In the starry sky, he really walked sideways. But the prophet is still a long way to go. It's just that the foundation is there, but the realm is still a lot behind. The origin of the Tao condensed, and he instantly reached the peak of the Tao Lord. He became an immortal being. This time he would not be so foolish as to annihilate his own power and origin. At least when he had almost comprehended the 5th metal plate, he would annihilate his own power and step into the 5th level. Thinking of this, he could no longer resist the impulse. Let's go. He wrapped Gagarin with his mind power and went to the 5th level. Swish. The space here is different from the 4th level. From a branch of the long river of time and space, it has become a 3-dimensional space. Time and space. This is a time and space. What a powerful time and space! Gagarin exclaimed. He had just said this not long ago. Jian Wushuang was not surprised by this. The only thing he was curious about was what the 6th level was. This is time and space, so the 6th level must be the starry sky. Then what is the 7th level? The land of disorder? What about the 8th level? According to this progressive level. What about the 9th level? The more curious he was in his heart, the stronger the motivation was. He searched for the metal plate. The structural diagram on it made him completely confused. Even if he had the telekinesis of the universe god, he could not detect the complete pattern on it. He felt that his eyes and his inspiration were all blurred. How could he comprehend if he could not even see clearly? When he thought about how Brother Ghost Eye, a Mahayana cultivator, had comprehended the 4th level, how did he deal with the 5th metal plate? Now he was completely cheating, using the vision and telekinesis of the universe god to comprehend the 5th level.